Man Beyond. I'm Kevin Smith.
I'm Marc Bernard.
Hey! Oh, fuck. Welcome back, everybody. It's been a red hot minute since we've been here at our home at the Scum and Villainy Cantina here in Hollywood, on Hollywood Boulevard. Put your hands together so the folks listening and watching at home know that you are real. Today is Tuesday. It's election day. Everyone's wearing these fucking daffy stickers saying I voted. I put up in a tweet like, hey man, go out and vote. Doesn't matter who you vote for. And at the end of the day, they give you a free fucking sticker. And I'm shocked by how many people who are like, I didn't get a fucking sticker.
That's the bargain, right?
Yeah, it must be just a California thing. But most of the people in New Jersey were like, I didn't get a fucking sticker.
That sucks.
I know, I feel bad.
I mean, I guess I could be exercising my civic duty, but I want a fucking prize.
I was stuck on duty.
Easy to do.
I went to my polling place with the wife and the kid. The kid can vote now and stuff. So
Is this her first election?
I can't remember. I think she voted in the 2016. Maybe not. She's 19 now. So would that? No. This might have been her first voting.
Wow.
Holy fuck. I guess it was a big deal. I was trying to remember, did we take a picture? We did take pictures and shit. For some reason, though, I thought she had voted before. It was all thrown because fucking when we left the voting place, we were at the voting place, and, you know, I was voting, and as I was leaving, I saw on my periphery somebody all dressed, like, in red, white, and blue. Like, just very, like, loud. Like, patriotic. So when we left, I was driving home, and I was like, anybody else see the lady dressed like in the red, white, and blue pants and shit, patriotic much? And my wife's like, that was Katy Perry, bro. And I was like, no, it was. She's like, oh, yeah, she had a little dog and people taking pictures of her. That was fucking Katy Perry. I was like, I thought she was just dressed interestingly. And people were like, oh, how patriotic and shit. And then I looked on her Instagram. She was right. It was fucking Katy Perry. But all I took away from that, it was like, I live in the same voting district as Katy Perry.
Were you in the back of that picture like, that's not her? Who is that girl?
I realized I don't look up a lot, man. I kind of keep my head down when I move through a crowd or something like that. Because I didn't really like make eye contact.
You got to put your head on a swivel, man.
Is that what the phrase?
Yeah.
I just don't, I don't know, and honestly, I don't know if I came face to face with her, if I would be like, oh, Katy Perry, because doesn't she change her hairstyle all the time?
She's a chameleon.
Yeah, exactly. So I would be forgiven if I was like, I didn't recognize Katy Perry.
Nah, man, keep your head on a swivel, man. Gotta know where they are. What the fuck's going on?
Who's coming? But she didn't seem to recognize me either, so we're even.
Well, you're different than you were the last time she didn't see you.
That's true. That's true.
You've lost like 95 pounds since the last time she didn't see you.
It'd be amazing if I went to her Instagram. She was like, I saw a Silent Bob look-alike at the polling station who just wasn't polling it off.
Ooh.
Thank you. Do you like that?
Yes.
That's as political as the show gets.
Get thee to a punnery.
Now with that out of the way, how you been?
I've been good, man. I've been busy.
We haven't seen each other since Vancouver. We did this in Vancouver.
Fuck yes.
It was a fucking blast.
We had a really good time.
Yeah. I'm still waiting to hear on that big project thing that I was working on. I heard some positive news today, but we've not heard the news that makes everybody go, wee.
Yeah.
Is the news that makes everybody go, woo.
It's not the indecent proposal news where you're like on a bed just swimming in cash.
Yeah, no, certainly not that.
No.
And not even close to the moment where I could be like, this is it. That's what I kind of most look forward to, one way or another, being able to say, hey, this is what I've been doing for like the last 6 months or something like that. So if they decide not to do it, I'll be able to tell the story and be like, but it didn't happen. And if they decide to do it, then somebody else will tell the story for a little bit.
Yeah.
So, but I'm for a guy who, does a lot of podcasts and a lot of fucking talking, it's very difficult to have that much content in my life and not be able to access it or touch it. Because if I start talking about it on podcasts, I'll fucking probably lose the whole thing and stuff. And that's a weird position to be in. The whole thing is a weird position to be in because I rarely work for somebody else anymore. I generally just work for myself. And I remember why, because when you work for yourself, there's no like waiting for an answer. Like you have the answer, you are the answer, and you just kind of go forward. So there are benefits to being indie, and there's benefits to working for other people and stuff like that. But the waiting game is one of those things where you're like, oh man, like I could chart my own future every other step of the way, except if I'm working for somebody else, then it's up to them.
Right.
So yeah, I look forward to the moment where I can talk about it, but I still don't have any concrete news other than we took another step forward and it was crazy positive. So we'll see what happens after that. But I can share, I was away for a month working on Supergirl up in Vancouver. And we finished our episode, went through the post process. Barbara's the editor. I've worked with her before on a couple other episodes. She's really great. And I edit, so I was able to kind of talk editor talk and short speak. And I love bringing the episode down and stuff. And I don't even have to go into the room to do it, and so I just send her like cut points. And then I double check every time. I asked her and her assistant when I did pop by the editing room. I was like, is it gauche or irritating that I send like time code? And they're like, why? Why would that be gauche or irritating? You know how easy it is? Just throw it into the fucking computer and it takes it out. Like, thank you. So I was like, all right, right on. So we went through that process, and I really liked the episode. Like, it turned out really well. I'm not even saying I did a good job. There's definitely flourishes that I feel responsible for, but generally the cast and crew make this show every week without me and stuff. We just got very lucky in as much as Eric Carrasco, who's been on this show, he co-wrote the episode, so he came up with me and stuff. And he tends to keep me honest. I'm a very lazy filmmaker on my own shit, and when I'm working on other people's shit, that doesn't change. So at the end of the day, I'll always find the shortest route out of something. And you know, most of the times I'm thinking not about what the final product's going to be, because I know it's going to be wonderful. They're excellent craftspeople. I'm always thinking about the cast and crew, and I'm like, how do I get us out of here as quickly as possible? Because they usually work long hours. And one of the things that when I come up, one of the things they like about me is they're like, oh shit, we're gonna get out of here early every day, because I kind of shoot only what I need. I don't overshoot coverage and stuff. And you know, it's on one hand, one could say, hey, you're not giving the editors a bunch of options. On the other hand, Barbara has never once complained. Like, it's pretty easy to put together the episodes, and I like to spare people the time. Sometimes they have chunky scripts, and you wind up shooting material that's gonna get cut. And as somebody who like lives the life more of an editor than anything else, it's easy to read the script and be like, this scene's gonna not be in the final, this is probably gonna go away. So in production, like I'll make the case for like, hey, can we lose this scene? Because like right now we're running real long, we're at 60 minutes, we're gonna have to get down to 42. Like I feel like we can add this line to this scene, and like we can get rid of this 2 pages right here. And then it's up to the producers and Jess and Robert this time, like let us get rid of a scene, which saves the cast and crew of having to go through shooting something which never gets used anyway. That seems like a kind of futile exercise. So because of that, I'm always thinking about how do I get us out of here early and stuff. Thankfully, Eric's there to be like, you know, don't forget there are 3 H's on this show. There's heart and humor, and I'm there for that 100%. But then he's like, the third H is heroics. That's the spectacle. And that's where I always kind of like, I'm not used to doing spectacle, so I'm always like, nah, somebody else will do that or whatever the fuck. So Eric will be like, no, we need this, you should get this. So because of that, team effort, Bob, the AD, Bob Crippen, was fucking amazing. I worked with him on Flash. He's recently joined Supergirl. Dude's a fucking ace. Has forgotten more about directing than I'll ever know and stuff. It's one beautiful shot of Kyler in the episode coming up where, you know, she's leaving the room and somebody says, wait, you know, and there's a kind of like flip at the end of the scene. And so, you know, I was like, oh, we'll come over here. And then when he says, wait, we'll be pushing on her and she'll turn around and stuff. Very, you know, it was maybe 2 extra shots. And Bob comes over and he's just like, just have her come to the door and walk into the shot, and he'll say, wait, and she'll stop right in the camera and she can give a great reaction shot. And I was like, thank you. I want to watch your show. And so we go shoot that, man. He's fucking wonderful. Because of that, we got a really cool episode. I felt pretty good about it and shit. There's something that happens in the 5th act, which is always the action act, which is I've never seen them do on the show before, so I like it. It's really kind of like, oh shit, this is cool. So I felt pretty good about the episode. And there are 3 masters that you serve when you make one of these shows. 3 levels you got to go, 3 big bosses stage, right? The producers, the first people you have to make happy. Second is the studio, and then third is the network. So throughout the process, the ideal is you get them all without having to change anything. And you know, that's rare because there's usually somebody with an opinion somewhere going like, I don't know about this line or whatever the fuck. But they just told me that we hit the fucking hat trick.
Yeah?
Yeah, the producers were like, love this episode. And the studio was like, love this episode. And the network was like, we love this episode. So I felt like really smart for a second where I was like, oh shit. Like I spent so much time going like, I'm not good at this job. And then I felt like, oh, and then I remembered I didn't do it. A bunch of people, we all did it together and shit. But they liked something I did in as much as there's a tone. The episode is, it's tough to say scary, but there's some fucking like frightening elements in it and stuff. Plays with dreams a bit. So we do some fucked up shit, and I just borrowed from movies I've seen my whole life. Like, ooh, we'll do a little Jacob's Ladder here, and we'll borrow from a little Omen here and stuff. So we built this kind of sequence where it is kind of a little bit horrific, but the rest of the episode is also like fun and light, because I tend to come in and lighten stuff up. So tonally, the episode is kind of in this wonderful place of up, down, up, down. It doesn't play like any of the other episodes I've seen in recent seasons. So it feels like something kind of fresh. And it's nice to know that they're all like, yay, because it means I might get invited back one day to do another. So it wasn't like, you know, I've been gone for a month, but at least it was for good effort, I guess.
You did some shit.
Yeah, 408. It's coming up in, I think, 4 episodes. They got an episode coming up. I don't know if it aired last night, but it was, I think, 403, where they do the backstory of one of their big bads this season is a character called Agent Liberty, and he's kind of fairly like racist against aliens. They're doing this kind of allegory, and he's very anti-alien.
Metaphors.
Science fiction. So they did a whole episode that dove into his origin and showed him go from like a normal guy to like how he became an extremist, which was, it's incredible. I saw it early because I watched the first 4 episodes when I got there. I was like, what have you shot so far? What can I watch? They gave me 4 episodes. And that one I thought was absolutely fucking incredible. Sam Witwer plays the character Agent Liberty, Ben Lockwood, who's a secret identity. And he's wonderful. He's a Star Wars guy, big in the Star Wars universe.
He's a Battlestar guy.
And a Battlestar guy as well.
He was Crashdown.
Yes, fucking well done. But he's big into Star Wars. You know me, I'm fucking like, I love Star Wars and shit like that. And when we were chit-chatting on set, like, you know, I was like, hey man, I know you've done voices and shit like that. Like, fucking, is Darth Maul just seen, you know, Solo a month or 2 before. And he's the voice of Darth Maul, and he was in the cartoons as Darth Maul. So we were chit-chatting Star Wars, and he whipped out his fucking Star Wars dick or lightsaber, and it was way bigger than mine. Like, I always felt like I was a fan and shit, but he dropped some like deep cuts fucking Star Wars shit that I didn't even know, and I was sitting there like, blue milk? Like, I was fucking really outgunned and shit like that. He was clever. So, very smart and big Star Wars fan. But he plays Agent Liberty. He's fantastic in that episode, if you get a chance to see it. The episode's entitled Man of Steel. But it's a secret origin episode that I've never seen before. It's really well done.
And they explain why he's a space racist? A spacist?
Yeah. And it's a spacist. Yes, and it works. It's not like, you know, you don't go, oh, I forgive him, but at least you're like, oh, I see how this started, man.
Is there a caravan?
Let's leave the politics outside, Mark.
A Dodge Caravan, not
yes,
like a
yes.
caravan.
Well
Just a minivan.
saved. Well saved. All right, man. So that's all I've been doing recently.
I've seen some movies. I've watched some TV shows. Man, I've been swallowing up the content.
You have been. You've been consuming.
I have been. You've been creating. I've been consuming.
What I saw. What did I see? I didn't see. Recently, I saw a movie that isn't out yet, or it's about to be out. Maybe it comes out today. Jason Reitman's Front Runner.
Oh yeah.
The movie about Gary Hart. I went to see it the other night. Wonderful, insanely well acted and shit. Jason Reitman, all he makes are like Oscar movies. Like every time he goes up to bat, he's never like, let's make a dick and fart joke movie. Like it's always like, oh shit, this is gonna be up for Oscars and stuff. Insanely well done. That was the last movie I saw, though. But it was weird sitting through a movie that wasn't a comic book movie.
Even though it had Wolverine in it, you're like, when's he gonna kill people?
Yeah, it was like, pop your fucking claws, Gary Hart. That'll show him. But it was a good watch, man. It's definitely worth seeing when it comes out. What have you seen, though?
I saw Venom.
Right On. That I haven't seen yet.
I don't know if right on is the right pair of words for Venom.
What is it made a bunch of money.
It made a shit ton of money. I think it...
So you can't hurt it now.
No. There's nothing I can do to Venom besides tell the truth about Venom. No, Venom, like... I never understood why you're making a Venom movie, aside from the fact that people seem to have a relation to that character, even though it's not really a character. It's a fucking alien symbiotic suit that needs Spider-Man and Peter Parker to be a thing that works in any real way. And so you're making a movie about Eddie Brock, who's an asshole, and is always an asshole. Like, just dick move after dick move after dick move. Like, his name should be Eddie Dick Move Brock for the entire movie, because he's just an asshole. And so I'm supposed to care that this asshole's life is ruined by a suit that calls itself Venom? Why? Right. Is that his name? It's alien and it's goo? Why does it have language that's our language? Like, just none of it made any sense. I will say, though, that Tom Hardy is in 9 different movies at the same time, and all of them are kind of interesting, just none of them are Venom. You know, like there's scenes where he's like, I'm super hungry, and he climbs it up, like he does it like a Bruce Wayne and climbs in a pool and starts like biting lobsters like Daryl Hannah from fucking Splash, because those are the 2 movies it wants to be in that 5-minute sequence. Like, we want to be Splash and Dark Knight. Go. All right, what do we do now? I don't know. He's going to be a dude like fighting guys in an apartment. It's going to be a little like Taken, except there's no kid or any emotional content. What now? Motorcycle chase. What? Sure. It's like every scene, somebody had a different idea that did not have to connect to the scene before. Right. Like it's a big, giant cinematic game of telephone. So by the end of the movie, none of it tracks to what the beginning of the movie was. It's just shit happening all the time.
What is there?
Sure, I can spoil a bunch of shit.
Okay.
Because if you haven't seen it yet, you're never going to see it.
Spoilers. I've not read anywhere on the internet that Spider-Man shows up. Is there any Spider-Man related material?
No, not a one. It's in fucking San Francisco. They couldn't even do Queens or New York or anywhere where Spider-Man might possibly be there. No.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and he's like a shitty Vice journalist at the beginning, like the kind of douchebag you don't want to watch on the internet. And he's like, I'm Eddie Brock, let me tell you the fucking truth. Because the accent kind of comes and goes every now and again. Costner-like. Like, what are you doing here, man? And then, super spoiler, the credits tag is Eddie Brock, now in sort of control of his symbiote, who decides he wants to stay on Earth for reasons that never manifest themselves in real actionable ways. It's like, I got my next big story. Who is it going to be? I don't know. I'm going to go in this prison in like the Harley Quinn cell they have here, which is just like, the square box surrounded by a bunch of guards walking around.
Hannibal lectured him.
They lectured him, and it's Woody Harrelson in a shitty red wig, who's like, when I get out of here, it's gonna be carnage, and we're like, so.
But that right there, I'd be like, oh shit, I'm going to Venom too. That's how they get you, man. They saved it for them.
That's how they get you.
You sit there going, fuck this, fuck this, fuck this. And then they're like, next movie's Carnage. You're like, take my fucking money right now. I haven't seen it yet, but I imagine I will. My kid saw it, and she was on the other page. She was like, oh, I loved it. And I was like, really? She said, yeah, it's really funny. He's weird.
Somebody did, clearly. It made like $300 million worldwide.
Crazy amount of money. It looks like there'll be another Venom, Venom 2.
This is like a movie.
And now that it's proven itself, maybe Sony's like, all right, you can mention Spider-Man.
It's the first one of those that it said, in association with Marvel. Not Marvel, in association with. Like, we acknowledge it exists.
From Sony, from Marvel adjacent Sony.
Yes. Like looking for Kevin Feige's name in the credits, and you'll not see it anywhere. And it's a movie with a bunch of really talented actors getting paid. Like, why is Michelle Williams in this? She's got an Oscar. I got to get paid. Why is Riz Ahmed in here? I'm really amazing. Motherfucker gotta get paid.
She Venoms out at one point, spoilers?
Yeah, for no good reason, really.
Does it look cool?
No. The CG is like oddly spotty, where like sometimes it's really cool and interesting. Like there's this big fight at the end, which I am never a fan of, like CG punching CG in the face, and I'm supposed to give a fuck.
Right.
But they do this thing where, of course, like Eddie Brock is in Venom, and Riz Ahmed's character is inside Riot, because again, that's a name an alien gives itself. Sure. And so they're fighting, and then like it gets so heated that they like punch the humans out of the symbiotic suits. So there's this weird like body horror where you can see the humans inside, and teeth and muscles and sinew, and it's kind of cool. And then there's other times it feels like a 9-year-old got a hold of a laptop. And you're like, really? Like, this is what you did? I mean, sure.
How does it look when his hands become giant axes?
Like shit.
Really?
Yeah.
It just had to look better than the old Nintendo game. That was all I was looking for.
Marginally.
Progress.
Yes.
I saw a non-comic book movie with my mom while I was in Florida. I went to visit my mother. I saw A Star Is Born.
Did you?
Yeah. I kind of saw it because my eyes were soaking wet the whole fucking time. Oh my God, it was really just sweet. If you're somebody who fancies yourself like an artist or creative, like it hits you on a bunch of different levels and stuff. If you're somebody who's known somebody with an addiction problem, it hits you on a bunch of fucking levels. If you're somebody who is like, fuck man, Bradley Cooper is the most talented person in the world, it hits you on a bunch of fucking levels. Like, you know, you sit there going like, nobody should be able to fucking pull off that raccoon and this movie. You know what I'm saying? It's unfair. You should only be good at one fucking thing. I bet you his dick is huge too.
But, it talks like this.
Yeah. Oh, he stole Sam Elliott's voice, and then he invited Sam Elliott into the movie.
Come be in my movie where I steal your voice.
It's really well-made movie, like from just a guy who watches movies standpoint and a guy who fancies himself a filmmaker standpoint. Really well done. And yet another argument for like an actor or an actress who sits behind a bunch of different directors over 10, 20 years will aggregate into a wonderful filmmaker themselves. You learn what to do, what not to do, develop your own style. It's a really great flick, man. I enjoyed the fuck out of it. It's a Hollywood movie. Everything happens fucking fast. Like he meets her and then 10 minutes later she's worldwide famous and shit. So, it's definitely fantasy, but they do something, I don't know if I could talk about it. It's maybe too soon and it spoils a bunch of shit. But they do something in the third act which I found like, oh, I wish they had done it more like they did it in the Barbra Streisand movie, but then it was more realistic the way they did it.
When they play patty cake?
Yeah. No.
That's code.
Yes.
No, for the other thing.
It involves his character and stuff. It's pretty gripping stuff, but like emotional as fuck. Like just a crazy. My kid told me before I went, because I was trying to get my wife to go with me, and she's like, I ain't watching that bullshit. She's a real loving woman. And but my kid, she had already seen it, and she's like, Dad, I love you, but I can't go back. It was such emotional turmoil. I can't do it to myself. So I asked Mom when I was down there, you want to go? And she was like, I took you to see the one with Barbra Streisand in 1976. And I was like, I remember. I was like, can't we fucking go see, like, Benji again, please? Why are we seeing this? But it was really great, man. She was wonderful.
I've heard nothing but good things about her.
Totally great. I'm not familiar with her other than like she's fucking huge and stuff. But the two things that I am familiar with are like her Saturday Night Live appearance, like and this. And I thought she was great in both of them. Really charming. He's fantastic though. They should give him all the fucking awards, man, for acting too. Seems like a nice guy.
I went online and like an idiot, I tweeted a thing saying, I have to think that somewhere Madonna is looking at Lady Gaga in Star is Born, thinking of this should be the life that I have right now. Because Madonna has hungered so desperately for cinematic glory, and Lady Gaga's going to get an Oscar nomination for this. And there's a decent chance she could win. And you know that Madonna's like, that bitch stole all of my fucking moves. That bitch is like meat dresses and shit. I was doing that shit in the 80s. Like I was the image queen, man. I did a fucking sex book. I did all that shit. And I put in my fucking time in. And I get a Vita as good as I get. And fuck you, Hollywood. Like I want to just like in her like fucking rage cave, just looking at it, like working a British accent to death, and just like. And so,
I think you're getting upset on her behalf, dude.
I mean, knowing how.
What I'm hearing is you're a deep Madonna fan.
I mean, I was like a virgin, like every motherfucker was in 1987. I bought the Pepsi because but I incurred the wrath of a Madonna horde that I didn't know existed.
Rightfully so, man. Why poke your nose in Madonna's business and be like, you know what I think? That's what the fucking internet is, man.
Yeah,
Step carefully.
It was a rough day when
man.
I had like Gaga fans like, "You're right," and Madonna fans like, "Die, bitch, die."
Yeah. Dead man on Batman.
I saw a different music movie,
What one?
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh, shit.
Yes.
Made all the money this
It
weekend.
made all the money. And if you remember, at our San Diego show, I went long and hard on how excited I was that there would be a Queen movie.
Yes.
Wait. It's a Queen movie.
Bohemian Rhapsody or Venom?
I will say that Bohemian Rhapsody has better songs. But...
Put that shit on a poster.
better songs than Venom, Bohemian Rhapsody. It is not a great movie. It's montage for too much of it. It's one of those like, hey, it's Freddie Mercury. He's got an amazing voice. He joins Queen. Queen's amazing. Suddenly they're rock stars. We need the standard rich and famous contract. Here's your rich and famous contract. We're touring Japan. We're going everywhere.
Are you sure you didn't see A Star Is Born? Because that's exactly the fucking
kinda,
route
right?
it takes.
You know, and then it's like, Freddie, he said he got married once. Remember that? Turns out, bisexual. No, y'all gay. I'm bisexual. Gay. Bisexual. Gay. Gay. Okay. And then, we're famous. We're still famous. And then, I isolated all my friends. And what's going on? Drinking too much. Cut a song with Bowie, maybe. I don't know. Oh, shit. I got this disease that seems to be infecting the gay community. I need to tell people about it, but not yet, because I want to keep it a secret. And, oh, hey, man, you want to go play Live Aid? I don't know. I haven't sang in a while. I'm spoiling most of this movie, by the way.
Bohemian Rhapsody in 1 minute by Marc Bernardin, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for him. He's almost done.
Almost done.
Take us home. Take us home.
It's like, we got to do this one concert. What's the concert? It's going to be fucking Live Aid, man. Bob Geldof. What's he doing? He's gathering every fucking rock star in the world. 1 billion people can watch this concert. Well, Queen's never played in front of that many people before, but we should before we go. Can you look at yourself in the mirror and say, we didn't play Live Aid because we were afraid Freddie couldn't sing? No, we're going to fucking do Live Aid. What do? Live Aid. 25 minutes here in this movie is just Live Aid. Literally, they recreate the entire Live Aid concert, and it's awesome. Because it's Live Aid.
Right.
And it's Queen. And every time they're singing, every time Rami Malek is doing his thing, every time the band that's cast because they look exactly like the band that was Queen, like pretends to be playing instruments, it's awesome. Like once they charge the end of this movie with AIDS and with legacy and with like, can he do it one last time? It's amazing. But everything before that last 40 minutes is like you watched a bad documentary about Queen. Also, further spoiler, Mike Myers is in this movie. Mike Myers plays a record executive, the guy who decided to, like, on a whim, say, all right, fuck it, I guess you guys can do Bohemian Rhapsody. And then they cut Bohemian Rhapsody into this, like, sort of pretty cool sequence about how you make a song that fucking daffy. And then the band brings it back into this record executive, and Mike Myers sits there behind a desk as the camera pushes in slowly and says, do you really think that kids in their cars are going to be banging their heads to this fucking song? And I just like a slow tear as I realized that this entire fucking sequence is built up to Mike Myers doing a Wayne's World joke.
Wow.
And that's when I was like, fuck you, movie. Fuck you. You didn't fucking earn that at all. But it's better than Venom because it has better songs.
Movie reviews by Marc Bernardin, everybody. Give it up for him.
I watched some television. I'm almost done with Daredevil, season 3.
Oh, shit. They survived the snap. Thanos fucking snapped and half the Marvel Netflix characters went away. Fucking, there ain't many left, man. Daredevil,
man.
Jessica Jones, they're
Punisher.
all like, Luke,
Hey?
Danny.
Yoga Fist, are you there? Yeah, and it's surprisingly good because I did not love the second season of Daredevil. Because the second season of Daredevil managed to make ninjas boring, a thing I never thought possible before. Like, how do you fucking make ninjas a thing I don't want to watch? Daredevil season 2, object lesson number 1.
I remember the end though, like when he's like fucking marching across the roof, spoilers, and he's all those ninjas like about to take him down and shit. Looks like a Frank Miller comic book for a frame, and then all of a sudden they get shot one by one. You look up and the Punisher's like, "Go get him, Red! You can't protect him, Rick!" Oh, that was fucking dope. But yeah, it wasn't as strong as. Fucking
That
awesome.
team was fucking dope.
So fantastic. But it wasn't as strong as season 1. This, I interviewed the cast and the showrunner for this season at New York Comic Con while I was gone. While I was doing Supergirl, I went over to New York and interviewed folks for the IMDb. And the show creator, I was like, this trailer looks fucking phenomenal, man. It looks like, correct me if I'm wrong, are you doing Born Again? He goes, we do a little Born Again. He goes, we do a little Guardian Devil. And I was like, what the fuck? I wrote Guardian Devil, man. Like, he's like, I know, that's why I said that shit.
I'm a sucker dick just a little bit right now.
Oh, it fucking felt cool, man, to be one of those Marvel artists that people take their shit and make it better shit and make money off it. That was cool.
No, and there's a really great sequence. It's a prison escape. That is
One of those long.
One of those just one take jammies that's like 10 minutes long, and it's just all Charlie Cox just barely surviving. Oh. Really well done. Really well done.
I look forward to that.
Yeah, no, it's totally worth it.
So what episode are you on?
I am on episode 12 of 13.
Oh, shit.
And again, it could have been 10.
Really?
They could all have been 10.
Yeah.
Like there's, you know that bit when a character says, here's my past trauma and it's affected me forever. Karen Page is like, my brother died and I was responsible for it and I never got back on the same page with my parents and I've always been carrying this wound with me. You don't really want to see that. There's an entire episode where you see that.
Oh, really?
And it's like, it's never going to be as good as it is when she talks about it, to see it.
Right.
You know, like, I have a quote up on my wall at work that I put up when I was on Castle Rock, where it was way more appropriate. It's a Stephen King quote that says, "Every character has a backstory. None of it is interesting." And it's like, it's kind of true. Like backstory, unless it's front story, backstory just informs the things you see in the present. You don't actually need to make it present. You just need to like, all right, what happened? Well, there was a fucking Clone War, and we did a bunch of shit. Do I need to see the Clone Wars? Not really, because it's not going to be as cool as it is when Obi-Wan talks about it, because you get to see it land on him. You get to do most of that work imagining what it is. And once you make that subtext, once you make that ethereal text, it's never quite as cool as you want it to be, because backstory just ain't that interesting.
Smart. I mean, you're breaking fucking hearts the world over for people who are like, all I do is write the backstory on these things.
Yeah, 20 years I've been writing fucking Star Wars Clone Wars shit. Sorry.
What is the other thing you watched?
I gave up on The Walking Dead about 5 years ago, I want to say. I tuned in for the Negan, like introduction of Negan episode. 'Cause I'm like, all right, I just want to see what the show is and what the fuck's going on. And that's when we talked about it, the idea that this show is just going to be brutal and it will end brutal and there is no hope for anybody. And how is that entertaining?
Right.
This slow, sad descent into just the abyss. But I watched the last Sunday night, the last Andrew Lincoln episode.
That was it for Rick Grimes.
You would think. Did you watch it?
I didn't. I'm no longer an AMC employee. I don't have to watch that show.
I was going to say shit about
Once they cut my show, I was like, thank you, gentlemen. I'm done with The Walking Dead. After you killed off Carl, go fuck yourselves.
Coral. No, and it's kind of a lovely episode because it works perfectly well if you haven't seen the show in a long time, like for me. And it opens with Rick kind of impaled on the cinder block, and there's a giant horde of zombies kind of approaching, and he's going to wake up, claw himself back on his horse, and make his way back to the camp. And every time he's a massive loss of blood, bleeding the entire time, he can't make the horse gallop because that would just kill him ultimately.
Right.
So it's a sort of slow escape from this encroaching thing. Every time he passes out, he like flashes back or hallucinates to another point in his life when somebody that he loved died, and died either at his hand or because of his actions.
Did they do Lori, his wife?
They didn't do Lori because maybe they couldn't get her, but they did Shane. So it flashes.
They could
back.
get him?
They got him. So
He's fucking busy all the time.
They got him, and there's this really nice scene in the car where like he's still in
He's
his
like, you
sheriff
can't
and-
protect her, Rick.
He's
He's
like,
like, would you
"Family,
fucking
Rick."
stop saying that?
I didn't protect her, I know. And so that's a kind of lovely scene. There's another scene with Herschel, and I think the last thing that he shot before he passed away.
Oh, God, that's right. He passed.
Yeah, and so it's another lovely thing where it's basically absolving Rick of his sins. That you have
Sonequa, isn't she in one of the
Sonequa
scenes?
Martin Green is in one of those scenes, and it's really haunting because it's a sea of corpses, and some of which I think you see Laurie's face there, you see Carl's hat, you see a bunch of shit, and so it's this wonderful sort of eulogy for this character, and he makes this choice at the end of it, which if you haven't seen, I'm not going to spoil, but it should be the perfect send off for a character like this.
You have sold me. I'm going to watch this episode.
And then the news broke
Wait a second.
that
I might have just saved myself $1.99 on iTunes.
entirely possible. The news broke that AMC is making 3 standalone Rick Grimes movies. What? Yes.
So you don't even have to spoil what happened at the end of that episode.
He doesn't die.
Let me tell you this. I hope those Rick Grimes stories ain't backstory. They'll really piss off Stephen King.
They are not. Because at the end of the episode, it's oh shit, he blew himself up. Isn't that great? He sacrificed himself for the family. Good move, Rick. And then 4 miles away on a riverbank somewhere, Rick rolls up and he's like, I'm still alive. And
You got Rick rolled.
You got Rick rolled. Literally
Never
Rick
gonna
rolled.
give you up. Gonna make 3 movies. So are they AMC movie of the week, or are they
AMC
theatrical
television
movies?
movies. They haven't talked about whether they'll be in theaters or not, but they're saying that they're going to make them on feature film budgets.
I would. It makes sense to do it for the network. I don't know if I would take the risk on theatrical run.
Yeah,
Seems like their audience is contracting. No,
It is a little
haven't
bit.
the numbers a little bit? They
Little
dropped
bit.
by 50% this season.
Yeah. Well,
I hope that doesn't come off as catty.
you're
They were always good to us. I tease. AMC was always very good to us. Kept that show on, Comic Book Men, far longer than it needed to be on. But you've sold me on that show. I'm actually going to watch that episode.
Yeah, it's a really well done episode that it doesn't.
Who
quite
directed? Do you know? Was it Greg Nicotero?
It was Greg Nicotero.
Did he do it?
Yeah.
Fucking, that's one of my favorite aspects came out of the whole Walking Dead thing, man. He became a legit director. This is part of the KNB Effects group with Bob Kurtzman, who I've worked with a lot. 3 kids who did special effects. He's a big Jaws fan. He's like one of us and shit. And he aggregated from a guy who did effects and blood and shit like that on Walking Dead to one of their best directors that they have. Really cool story, man. Shows you that talent outs. He's one of those cats his whole life. When he was a kid, people are like, what are you wasting your time with this fucking monster shit for? That's why, man. It's it's
what
not
I
a
did.
waste of time if you could put it to use for you later on in life and shit. When I was a kid, they would be like, what are you fucking wasting your time with all the movie shit for, man? Caring about movies. Well, thank God.
Yeah.
Because that's all I did with my life is care about movies. I don't care about you. I just care about movies.
Fuck you, Mrs. Phillips. Look what I did.
Yeah. So fuck you, Dad. No, he was the guy that fucking put movies in my head. He was the one that fostered the whole thing. He hated his job. He loved to escape, so he liked going to the movies and shit. He passed that on to me because I didn't do sports. I was heavy and shit. He's like, movies are good for him. He doesn't have to catch anything.
You won't get winded.
All right, we done with our pre?
We're done with our pre.
We're done chit-chatting, folks. We're just about ready to start the show, man. This show is comprised of 2 sections, but tonight everything's going to be different because we got some special things going on. But what is going to remain the same, of course, Mr. Marc Bernard, and he comes from the world of news. He worked at the LA Times as an editor. He worked at the Hollywood Reporter as an editor. He worked at Playboy
As
editor. Oh my God, man. He knows news. If anyone knows news, he's got a nose for news. Marc Bernard went to the internet, downloaded news for us tonight. Give it up for Marc Bernard, man. He's going to give you the news.
Listen, I'm just saying, my copy-paste fingers, they got to work out this week.
There's been a lot of news since the last time we
There's been a
spoke,
lot of
and we've
fucking
got to
news.
cover it all.
I guess at the top we can talk about the fucking Thanos snap on the Marvel Universe on TV, which is Iron Fist and Luke Cage both went away.
Iron Fist got Iron Fisted, man. It just gone. Fucking gone. And this was after a second season that people were like, hey,
It's better.
it's taken a jump.
It's better.
This seems to have more to do with the cost of the shows and Disney's impending DTC app, direct-to-consumer app, whatever, the Disney Netflix, the Netflix killer that they're brewing, that seems to be the channel that we all want. I mean, this probably touches into other news, but they announced that they're doing Vision and the Scarlet Witch shows, and now they've announced that they're doing Falcon and the Winter Soldier shows.
Yep.
On par with the studio budgets, Kevin Feige producing.
Yep, with the same cast.
With the same fucking cast. Like, they're really going for it. So in that world, like, having Marvel product on Netflix doesn't really make sense anymore. They're about to be competitors.
Yeah.
So
and they were expensive shows. Like New York will give you some tax credits, but not that much. And they spent a boatload of money. And the ratings began to erode because when they were new, like Luke Cage crashed Netflix. Like,
and remember they said too about Iron Fist, they're like, it broke all sorts of records. They were like, tell us the records. They're like, we're not gonna, but it broke them.
the
But they
most
said,
watched show between 48 and 49 years old at 2 o'clock in the morning in Pittsburgh.
they did find a very thin demographic for it to rule by, but yeah, I guess it was diminishing returns for them.
I think so. I mean, they haven't announced anything about Punisher, which they've shot already. There's a second season already in the can. There's a third season of Jessica Jones in the can, and we just saw season 3 of Daredevil. And so there's no word yet on if those will continue to go on or not, because those feel like those are the ones that have the most story legs, I suppose. But they announced no Defenders a while back, and with those 2 cancellations, and I don't see a world in which Heroes for Hire ends up on the Disney app.
A lot of people said that. They're like, well, now that he lost his show and his show, why don't they get together and do like they did in the comics and do Heroes for Hire? But yeah, that would it looks like at this point it would have to be the Disney app channel doing it.
Right.
And it sounds like they're like, we're doing Falcon and the Winter Soldier over here.
Yes.
Like,
Did you see that we're doing a Loki miniseries with fucking Hiddleston? We don't really need Heroes for Hire. We're good.
Like, come on, man, one more season of Danny Rand. Danny Rand. Yeah, it's the landscape is changing. Crazy. Just think about how it was only, 3-4 years ago that they started these Marvel shows on Netflix, and we were like, oh my God, we're in the future. And now that shit's the past. They've gotten rid of half of it.
Son, you
I know,
just brought
sorry.
it way down.
Hate to be that guy, but we're in a post-Infinity War climate. What else you got?
Ewan McGregor is going to star as Black Mask in the Birds of Prey movie.
From Christopher Robin to Black Mask?
Yes.
This guy's got range, man.
Danny Renton to Christopher Robin.
Yeah, really.
In my ass, Marc. Put it in my fucking ass. Pooh.
Stop doing lines from Christopher Robin, man. Don't spoil it for these people. Christopher Robin now on home video.
The heroin stuff is a bonus feature.
Where is he playing Black Mask in the
Birds of Prey movie?
And they're calling it Birds of Prey?
Yep.
So this is the movie that features mostly female cast, which I understand is now going to be R-rated as well.
Yes, it is. Yeah, Margot Robbie is back as Harley Quinn. Mary Elizabeth Winstead is Huntress.
Oh, she got the role?
She got the role.
Good for her,
Journey
man.
Smollett Bell is Black Canary.
Right.
It was reported that
Good for her.
Rosie Perez is playing Renee Montoya.
Wait, what? Rosie Perez is playing Renee Montoya? Good for her. She's doing the right thing, man.
I'm trying my best to channel my fucking Mookie voice. Come on, Mookie! Why don't you come by my house, Mookie?
You didn't do a good job.
I didn't do it, man. Because I got fucking Quince in my head for White Man Can't Jump. I'll take foods that begin with Q for 200, Alex.
Wow, man, she's... That was good. Give it up for Marc. That was very close.
I got there. It took me a little bit. But
That was a Rosie. So she's in the movie as well. This is a movie going to be directed by a woman as well, I'd imagine. Right?
Yeah, a woman named blah, 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 blah. Hold. Kathy Yan.
Okay. And the storyline is, this is all the Gotham people, but no Batman.
Yes, it's like Venom,
Or Treadstone.
Yes. You know that thing you like.
Yeah. We're going to leave that to the side. You know they're going to reference him. I guarantee you he makes an appearance, if not on, maybe on a rooftop, fucking the cape and shit.
Just the fucking bat signal is going to be up.
There's no way. You can't. It's like doing, fucking the Lincoln story without Lincoln, for Christ's sakes, man. Like, you got to have him pop up somewhere. All these people do what they do because he does what he does, correct? Mm-hmm. Go through that. The Huntress, inspired by him. Mm-hmm. Harley Quinn, inspired by the Joker, inspired by him. Black Canary, maybe her. She's not really on the list. She's like, fuck Bruce Wayne. I got nothing to do with him. Ollie Queen's my fucking billionaire. Who else is on that list?
Renee Montoya.
She's a cop, we don't know if she's going to be the question.
No, but I don't know. But she was a GCPD detective, so that's Gotham City.
Right.
Sure, that qualifies.
You gotta. He'll be felt. He'll be talked about.
I think Cassandra Cain may be in this, and they haven't cast her yet.
I bet you they'll keep it way quiet and slip in a cameo, right? Like they will have Batman in it, even if it's not who winds up being the Batman in Matt Reeves' movie, even if it's not Affleck. They'll, if you're doing this movie as a one-off, they're no longer interested in building a universe. They're just doing movies. You could get away with doing a Batman.
If it's not Val Kilmer, I'll be very upset.
It'd be amazing.
Just fucking strapping his fat ass into his suit.
Gentlemen, bringing him back for the cape and cowl. You loved him in Tombstone. The one, the only Val Kilmer. He's amazing in Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
He's great. And I think he lost some weight because he had been ballooning a little bit, but he's in Top Gun 2. And so,
is he in Top Gun 2?
Yeah.
I remember he was like lobbying for it at one point. He's like, I really want to be in it. Oh, I'm glad. Good for him. He lost his voice? Oh, he's got one, a gravelly voice?
So now he's Batman. Perfect. He's been training for Batman.
He's still awesome, I agree. But he'll be in that movie for sure.
Yeah.
I guess they'll work in the gravelly voice thing. Right on, man. Good for him. That makes me happy hearing he's in that movie. Anthony Edwards is the only one going, man, I wish I was in that movie. But I guess they could do him in flashbacks and shit.
What if this was like the Goose story?
Wow. That's it. It's Goose's son is in the movie.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. I think so. What's his name plays him? What's his name? The guy who was in Fantastic Four played Reed Richards.
Oh, Miles Teller?
He plays
I hope he
Goose's
dies too.
kid. What, like his dad?
Yeah. It's the Goose revenge. It's just like every goose in a cockpit, man. It's like, fucking Goose again?
I could see the magic you bring to Treadstone.
Hell yeah.
You're like, let's kill all the fucking characters off.
What else he was dead? Hey, do you remember seeing Gladiator in the movies with Russell Crowe when he's that amazing gladiator, Maximus Decimus Meridius? You killed I'm a husband to a murdered.
That was literally a
wife.
reference to Gladiator.
I know. I got you. They want to make a sequel to that movie.
Oh, that's timely.
Yeah.
Took a minute.
It took a minute. Maybe they have to crack how we make a sequel to the movie where your main character dies and nobody gives a fuck about anybody else in the movie.
Wait, that's right. He dies.
Yeah.
So it won't be Russell Crowe.
No.
It'll be a different Gladiator.
It's supposed to follow. Remember that little fucking bratty kid, Lucius?
Yeah.
Him.
He grew up to be The Rock, Jason Momoa, whoever the fuck. That makes sense there. I'm in. I'm back. They got me, man.
Yeah.
Michael B. Jordan, I'm there. This sounds like they're creating fucking Gladiator, and I'm all for it.
And Jaimin Hunsu's character didn't die, so I think they'll bring him back also because he's not dead. So maybe he'll be the connective tissue, but...
And did Joaquin die at the end of that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah!
Fuck yeah!
Fuck that prick!
But yeah, Ridley Scott apparently wants to do it. And
wow.
Ridley Scott is trying to shuffle as many movies
Ridley
as he
Scott
can.
could do anything he fucking wants. The guy's like old. He's in his 70s, I think, at this
Late
point.
70s, yeah.
Late 70s, and he shows no sign of fucking tiring.
No.
He still makes legit, wonderful fucking films. That movie that they recast with Kevin Spacey and shit, what was it? All the
Money in the World?
It's a great fucking flick. Like, the only movie of his recently that I wasn't in for was the Aliens.
Oh,
What was the...
Prometheus.
Holy fuck, man. That was tough. Yeah. That was really tough to like be like, I was rooting for him, especially because they showed the navigators. I was like, oh shit, I'm going to love this movie based on the trailer. They always fucking lie. And then I was in the theater and I was like, they fucking lied again.
Every story has a backstory. Almost none of it is good.
That's true. They should have kinged that shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, generally speaking, he makes wonderful stuff. So I'll fucking watch a Gladiator sequel from him.
They have officially decided to make one of the Game of Thrones prequels.
Who's making it?
HBO.
All right, that makes sense.
Yeah, Jane Goldman, who co-wrote both of the Kingsman movies. She did all of Mark Millar's movies.
Okay.
She's the showrunner. George R. R. Martin is collaborating with her. D.B. Weiss and David Benioff have nothing to do with these prequels.
So they're moving on.
They're moving on
to Star Wars shows, presumably.
And Naomi Watts is going to be the lead of the next Game of Thrones series that takes place 8,000 years before.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
It takes place 8,000 years before?
Yes.
None of these people read that Stephen King quote, that's for sure.
No,
man.
not even close.
Why not go forward and tell the story? That way it seems like if you're doing the backstory, we know what happens in the future, and that kind of ruins it a little bit. So if you did a series that went from the events of those books forward, created some new shit, you can build on what was there and reference, hey, remember all the characters we like that are too expensive for this show? And stuff like that.
I guess I'm hoping that by setting it so far in the distant previous, you're not expecting it to connect with the other stuff, per se. You're not expecting the, like, oh shit, that's Daenerys' great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather.
The only connective tissue will be the White Walkers, presumably.
Presumably. It's sort of, according to this press
release. And
the wall. The wall.
I bet you this is where the wall gets built, right?
It chronicles the world's
that wall.
Descent
Build
from
that
the
wall. In this instance, I fully fucking support it, man. I've seen what happens on the other side. They're pretty crimson, those White Walkers.
But it chronicles the world's descent from the golden age of heroes into its darkest hour. And only one thing is for sure, from the horrifying secrets of Westeros' history to the true origin of the White Walkers, the mysteries of the East to the Starks of legend, it's not the story we think we know.
I'll be honest with you, man. I wasn't like on board for Game of Thrones when it began. It wasn't until Jason Mewes was like, you gotta watch this shit. They show so much dick on it. Was his selling point and made me try it for some reason. I was just like, sounds good. And I started watching it. So
I wasn't
more than
pre-sold,
and I'm not pre-sold here, but I'm sure they'll get me by making a classy series.
Naomi Watts is what gets me.
Is that what brings you in?
Yeah.
I love her. She's wonderful. But George R. R. Martin being involved seems like a good sign. But those, Benioff and Weiss, man, they seem to have the magic. You know, I mean, I know they were using his source material, but not having them involved, that's a hurdle.
Yeah.
You don't think they'll even bring them back as producers or nothing like that?
Apparently, they will have no involvement whatsoever.
There it is.
There it is.
Sounds like everyone got along very well.
Fuck you, go home.
All right, what do you got next?
They are making another Flash Gordon movie.
Fucking A.
I mean,
that makes sense.
It does make sense, although nothing will ever top the first Flash Gordon movie because
Sure
it had
it will.
Queen songs in it.
All right, if they bring the Queen songs back, all they got to do is bring those songs back. But yeah, that's a concept that could easily be redone. Why not?
The guy who made Overlord, which I haven't seen yet.
That's the new J.J. Abrams produced movie.
The like World War II zombie thing.
Guys parachuting into behind enemy lines and they're zombies or something. Vampires or something.
Vampires.
Opens Friday? Opens this Friday.
Does.
What is it? Overlord?
Overlord. A guy named Julius Avery is taking a swing at Flash Gordon.
So this guy is going to direct Flash Gordon.
Yes.
Does it connect at all or just... No, we don't know. Probably just taking the material, doing his own thing.
Like how do we make this relevant again?
The story, if I remember correctly, is I'm a football player and I wind up on this rocket ship with a reporter and a scientist.
Yes.
And we wind up going to Mongo, where Ming the Merciless is planning to destroy the Earth, and I have to stop it from happening.
For shits and giggles.
So you could do that as a current version.
Yeah, and I don't remember, because I never watched the old serials, but I'm pretty sure that he was not always a football player.
They made him a football player for that movie?
I think they made him a football
What was he before?
I don't know.
But if I remember, it's like normal guy winds up in
I'm sure
space.
he was like cop or soldier or maybe even astronaut, but quarterback for the New York Jets was not always part of the canon.
No doubt. So you can definitely do that story today.
Yeah.
I'm snatched from here, I go up there, I fight the bad guys.
Boom.
Star Wars.
Yes. 2 quick director notes. Ryan Coogler has officially signed on for Black Panther 2, which...
What a shock.
I know. Duh.
We all knew that. But it's nice to know it's official. Nice to know there'll officially be a Black Panther 2. Kind of spoils the Infinity War a little bit, but there you go.
Yeah.
We know one hero's coming back, unless they're planning to make one of those Black Panthers without Black Panther.
And James Gunn is going to direct Suicide Squad 2.
That's right. That happened while I was away. That was big news. That seemed to be the obvious in the offing, being that Joss Whedon left the Marvel Cinematic Universe and wound up working over at the DC movies. This seemed logical.
Yeah, and it's a guy who can handle that kind of sort of sideways tone and deal with the humor and wrestle a bunch of characters to the ground. And
Seems like a great catch for Warner Brothers and
Yes.
match to material, potential material.
one last thing before we move on to the next portion of our show.
This is the end of the news?
This is the end of the news.
Hit it.
A producer named Raymond Chow passed away. Raymond Chow is most notable for starting a company called Golden Harvest back in the 1970s and producing Into the Dragon, bringing Bruce Lee to the big screen, to the big states in a big bad way for the first time, introducing Jackie Chan to Western audiences, Legend of Drunken Master, Project A-Co, all of that stuff was him. He produced the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles feature film back in the 90s. And also he introduced Sui Hark. They did Once Upon a Time in China. He introduced Jet Li to the West. And for me, my heart goes to him because A, Cannonball Run was a Raymond Chow production, and Megaforce. And
Get out of here. Deeds, not words.
Deeds,
was
not
his?
fucking words. Megaforce was. I collected a bunch of comics in like the 70s and 80s, and that was on the back of all
Every
of them.
comic book.
Every comic book.
Deeds, not words.
Deeds, not words. Ace Hunter, fucking with the Persis Kambata with hair. And I saw that movie, and it was everything I ever thought a movie could be, because there was like dune buggies and BMX bikes, and they all had fucking rocket launchers mounted on them, and there was like pink smoke out the back and some cool formation thing, because why would you need a strike force with dune buggies and BMX bikes and pink smoke flying out the back? Don't give a fuck, because Hal Needham wanted it that way, and so I let Hal Needham have it.
Did Hal Needham direct Megaforce?
Yep.
Are you shitting me? I never knew that until just now.
Because nobody stunts like Hal Needham stunts. And that movie was just all about shit flying off of stuff. There's a sequence in that movie that is funny. My co-writer for The Highwaymen, the comic book that I did, Adam Freeman, is in the corner. There's a scene where they deploy into a battlefield with a shit ton of dune buggies and bikes, and they all drop off the back of a C-130 like cargo plane, which we kind of ripped off for The Highwaymen, which then the Fast and Furious movies then ripped off from us, I'll say it, for Fast and the Furious 7. The daisy chain goes all the way back to Megaforce, because that movie was everything a 10-year-old ever wants out of a movie at once.
And the man who produced that?
Raymond Chow passed away at 91 years old.
91.
91.
Fuck, man. To live a legendary life that includes, is not limited to, just includes making Megaforce.
Yes.
To make it to 91, man. Wow.
Yes. And, you know, fucking Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan and Jet Li and...
Massive tale and legacy.
Indeed. So, yes, he passed away, so hoist a glass when you have... If you're in a bar, say, I don't know, to a guy who seemed to have his finger on a pulse that nobody else had at the time.
Well done, Mr. Chow. Chow it was?
Chow. Raymond Chow.
Give it up for Raymond Chow. That's all the news?
That is all the news, my friend.
Oh my God, we're done with the news, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for Marc. He gave you the news. Okay, we got a special guest this week, man, and we're going to talk to her about a massive career that includes the Batman the Animated Series, the amazing Warner Brothers show that came out, 92 or whatever, has just been released on this massive box set. You could also watch it on the DC Universe app and stuff, but this box set has everything, It comes with 3 little Funko Pops, but it has amazing documentaries about the heart of Batman and stuff like that. Every episode ever done is on this box set. So the good folks at Warner Brothers Animation always kind of over-delivering. This is limited edition, I just noticed, man.
What?
Only 69,000 copies, 69. So rush out and fucking get one as soon as you can, man. If you're remotely been a fan of the show, I hear they're gone almost everywhere. So you might have to go to the aftermarket. Sounds like you might go eBay and stuff like that. That all being said, man, one of the voices in this universe and every fucking universe is here tonight to hang out with us and chit-chat and whatnot. When I was a kid, there were 2 famous voices, 2 famous names in animation providing voices. Mel Blanc was one of them, of course, who provided like every animated voice at Warner Brothers. June Foray was the female version, where she did Rocky the Flying Squirrel, she did Witch Hazel and Warner Brothers. She's worked forever and stuff. She's the most recognizable name in animation in terms of voicing female characters. The modern day June Foray, who takes it even further and has voiced your entire life, everything you've ever loved remotely, she's played a part in at this point, man. She's here to talk about the work that she's done and bless us with her appearance. Give it up for, oh shit, I could do the list, but I'm just going to pick Batgirl, ladies and gentlemen, Tara Strong.
You guys sure talk like a lot. You guys talk a lot.
Good Lord, man.
Probably too much.
And also, Rosie's like my best impression. You want it?
Yeah, hit it. You've got a Rosie Perez?
You lost all our fucking money? $700, Billy. We were on the way to 8,000. Ah, Billy, you're so stupid. You should have said I love you infinity plus infinity.
Holy shit.
She's
Thank
better
you.
than you, man.
Yeah, no.
Thank you.
I'm never going to call it up to the big show with my fucking Rosie.
I'm so tempted to just sit here and be like, do this voice, do this voice. But that's what you get paid to do, so it'd be wrong to like have you do all the voices.
I mean, it's kind of why I'm here.
Well, really, we should talk to you about how one does the voices, how one got to be as indispensable as you. They don't make shit anymore that's animated unless you're nearby in some fucking vicinity. It seems like you've got a massive long tail in animation. When did you start? What was the first thing?
I started when I was 13. I grew up in Toronto, and my first job was Hello Kitty. And I was the voice of Hello Kitty, and Cree Summer was the bad cat.
Wait a second, the voice of Hello Kitty, she'd never had a voice before.
I know, I was the first.
Was that controversial? Were people like, fuck you, Hello Kitty has no voice?
Well, it was before Twitter,
Thank
thankfully.
God, yeah.
We got away with so much before Twitter.
Yeah, and I was 13, so if it existed, I didn't hear about it, but I loved doing it. It was really fun.
How long? Well, like what kind of...
I feel like it was like 2 years, maybe. And I grew up in a toy store, and my dad was the first to import Hello Kitty into Canada. And like, there's pictures of my dad like in the furry outfit when I'm like 5. So it's kind of crazy that I got to.
We
play
don't want
her.
to talk about your parents' sex life here, man. That's
Yes,
you
you
deal
do.
with that with your therapist,
Yes, you
Tara.
do.
I don't know what they'd get up to in T-Dot, but down here we don't go for that furry nonsense.
Right.
The what did that lead to? Like, is that how it works? Like, hey man, I hear you did the Hello Kitty. Can you do something else? Or do you just start developing new voices?
No, I think there's people that do 1 or 2 shows and then kind of disappear. But I was really lucky to grow up in Toronto. There's so much production up there, and I did a lot of TV and film and theater. But I also did a ton of animation, which kind of paved the way for coming here. The next thing I did that was kind of big was like Beetlejuice. I was Claire and Bertha, which is a great show, and My Pet Monster, and Garbage Pail Kids, and yeah, a whole bunch of fun stuff in Toronto before I moved here. So, and actually, it took me a few years to get my feet solid here. I was like, eviction notice broke in my apartment. Like, no one gives a shit that I'm here, and I might as well go home or get a job somewhere else because I can't survive.
What kept you going?
So my first job was Hello Kitty, and it was given to me by a woman named Marcia Goodman, who at the time was head of casting for Deke Animation. And she called me at my apartment, and she said, Tara, we're redoing Gadget. It's Gadget Boy and Heather. Will you be my Heather? So she kind of saved me twice.
Wow.
And literally I'm like, yes, I'll come do Gadget. And then I was still kind of coasting. And then within the same year, I booked 101 Dalmatians, Powerpuff Girls.
What was 101 Dalmatians, like a Disney Channel
101 Dalmatians was a Disney show about the Dalmatians. And I played the description and the character breakdown. Like when you get an audition for an animated show, they give you character breakdown, drawing, little backstory about the show. And they said she's the only non-dog. She's a chicken that thinks she's a dog, and she's really hyper and crazy. And so on the very first day, it was like a room full of greats. It was like me and Pammy Siegel and E.G. and Kath Susie and Jim Cummings and Frank Welker, and it was like this insane room. And Tara Charendoff from Toronto is sitting there. And then they play back all your auditions so that they know, so you know what you did, because often for an audition you'll do 2-3 different choices. And so I had this weird idea right before my audition, which is the same way I booked Titans, that maybe every time she says a B or a P, she gets stuck on it and starts clucking. And they played it back, and it was like, I can put up with the grilling jokes, the bake references, even you asking me why every time I cross the water. And she was like crazy. And
it's so fucked up watching shit come out of your mouth. You're like the girl from The Exorcist, man. Like weird voices just pop out.
Pretty crazy, huh?
Anywho, that's what booked the part. And Pammy was like, you're in a room full of greats, and you just blew everyone away, which was like, we fell in love on that. And then I booked a little show called Batman.
So you went from Disney to Warner Brothers.
Yeah, and it was like that day, booking that part was like insane, because that casting room was full of A-list on-camera celebrities, A-list voiceover celebrities, and I was like grateful to be in the room, but thought there's not a chance. And I was already doing Kylie for Ghostbusters and like Fillmore, this other like sort of tragic teen, and I'm like, I don't know how to make this different, but I hope this is me, and I just kind of did. Or maybe that came after, I lied. That was how I booked Raven. For Batman, I just did my own voice, and it worked, and they liked it. It's the only show I do that's my own voice.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So when you do Batgirl, you're just you.
It's just my voice.
It's all fucking acting, though, man. I've seen the behind-the-scenes clips. You guys get, like, crazy physical with it.
You'd be hard-pressed to find an actor's room where they're just standing there. We're all moving around within the parameters of the microphone, and
do you do it together? Is everybody?
Yeah, one of the great things about Batman is that we all work together. I mean, I was in between Hamill and Conroy, like pinching myself, and Arlene Sorkin, and all these amazing actors that, when you're acting in a voiceover job, you envision what's happening in your mind, and you put yourself in those scenarios, because if the line is whoa and you're falling off a cliff, or you see a hot guy, it's going to be two different reads, right?
Right.
And so you really envision these moments and try to bring them to life. And there were moments of tears and real laughter, and just to be able to play off the other actors. Like, you'd get half the creativity if I didn't get to respond to how Hamill did something. And it was a magical, amazing room. They don't always do full cast record, but Batman was.
Really?
Yeah.
When was the first time you knew that this was a career and that you were interested in it? Like, when did it become like, oh shit, I'm gonna do this for the rest of my life?
It's funny, because I still have a hard time even thinking that, because I knew when I was like 3-4 years old that I wanted to be singer, dancer, actress. But I didn't know it was gonna be voiceover. And people say, oh, you're a voice actress. Sometimes I go, what? Because it's like, I don't really think of myself as a voice actress. I think of myself as an actress that gets to play in this amazing world, which is an amazing world, and I'm super grateful for it. But it took me a while to realize, oh, I'm pretty big in that world. I mean, maybe the internet or Comic-Cons, when suddenly I, couldn't walk from A to B unless I was dressed as Harley, which was really fun. Did you see that?
Have you done that?
Oh, yeah. See, you don't follow me on Twitter, so you miss all the fun.
Don't criticize me in front of the audience. I was on your side. I will totally follow you.
It's like she called you out for a dance fight.
You really did. Done. I've been bodied. Heavens.
Okay, so I cosplayed Harley, and I totally surprised my fans. And normally when I'm walking from my hotel to the con, I get stopped a lot. But as Harley, I didn't really, because everybody's Harley.
Right.
Except that people stopped me because it was a really good costume. I had it made. And one guy's like, can I take your picture? Harley's my favorite. And there's been like 13 today. And I went, okay, Puddin', but am I your favorite? And he goes, I don't know, I've seen a lot of good ones. I was like, I couldn't wait for that guy to go home and like make his iPhone a little bigger and check it out.
Wait, I'm stuck on, you had a costume made?
Yeah.
Did you ever have a Batgirl costume made?
See, if you followed me.
Did you really have a Batgirl costume made and you wore it?
Yes.
Are you shitting me? That's adorable.
Gary, can you find
I've
it?
never even had a Silent Bob costume made. That's so cute, man. That's cool.
It was pretty hot.
What else have you... Wait, do you always make costumes of the characters you play or just...
Typically because it's fun.
Didn't you do the Fairly Odd Parents? Weren't you Timmy Turner?
I've never done a Timmy Turner. No.
Timmy Turner?
No.
I think that
it'd be fun, but
should be next.
No, I've done Harley. I've done Injustice Harley and Injustice 2 Harley.
Injustice Harley is the trampy one, right?
The one with the skirt. Well, they're all pretty trampy.
Not the OG Harley is,
No, she was adorable.
full body.
She's a
I've
classy
done-
broad.
very classy.
Batgirl. I've done Ashi from Samurai Jack. Ooh. Yeah, that was pretty hot.
Well, you have like 500 IMDb credits. Like, how much closet do you have to hold costumes for that many things?
This shit
found
gets
it?
expensive.
Did you find it?
Oh, shit.
I want to see.
We've just got this just in, the actual photos.
Let me see.
Look at you as
Thanks,
Trampy
Cub Reporter.
Harley.
Yeah, see, I told you it was hot.
Well done. I wasn't doubting you.
Yes, you're married.
I wasn't saying. I was just
What
saying
other
this is a great
costumes you got?
costume.
See all the fun
you
you'd have
got a
if you
Snow
followed
White in
me?
there?
Take us into the world of Batman. How many years, I think at this point, have you been playing Batgirl? You've done all the Batgirls, right?
Not all. Sometimes casting makes mistakes, but right, Gary?
Is that a thing? Like every once in a while, for those of us that watch the animated stuff, right? Like whenever, no disrespect to anybody, and I loved Peter Weller's Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Returns, but whenever it's not Kevin Conroy, I'm like, why are they fucking around again, man? Like, I know
what
everyone
we
wants
want.
to play Batman, but like whenever I hear, even if I read comics, I hear Kevin Conroy's voice in my head. When I read Batgirl, I hear your voice in my head because you've defined the fucking character. Now, for fans watching them switch the voice, it can be irritating. What is it like when you've played the character forever and then suddenly they're like, oh, this week it's going to be somebody else because their kid likes the show or something like that?
I mean, you think you're irritated. Like, it's so frustrating, and any actor that says they're not hurt by it is completely full of shit. Like, they're just lying. And voice actors are pretty much hoes. They won't say no to anything. Like, I've never heard a voice actor go, nah, I don't really want to redo Batgirl or redo a different part. And it's never, ever about money. Voiceover, unless you're on The Simpsons, you start at scale every time, which is
that
like
right?
8 something. Yeah. And then as the show gets more successful, you get little bumps, like scale and a half, scale 3/4, or whatever it is. So it's never, ever about money. It's always like some producer wants to make a creative choice and try something new, or they think they need some big on-camera celebrity. And when you create a character, at least for me, like they live up in my brain, and basically a crazy person, and they come down to play when it's their turn. And when I see someone else playing it, I get really annoyed.
Right.
And I've become that with Harley, which is funny because I wasn't the first Harley, and I'm obsessed with Arlene.
Arlene Sorkin.
I love her so much. But now I get pissed off when someone else is. I go Harley when someone else is Harley. Like, it just makes me angry.
That's sweet and hypocritical at the same time.
And by the way, you never get angry at the other actors, because it's not like the other actors are going, hey, I could do Tara's voice for half the price. You know, it's the studio
You don't know,
saying,
I'm out there in the hills doing that all
yeah.
the time, knocking on doors going, you know, Tara, I do her voice half the price, man.
I only watched that once, and the guy never worked again. It was a Scooby-Doo, and he came in, and he said to Welker, who, by the way, is like the most beloved, cherished soul in the universe, and still sounds like Fred, even though I don't even know
Frank
how old he is.
Welker did the voice of Fred and has done voices, like more voices than...
He's the monkey in Raiders of the
Maybe
Lost
more
Ark.
than me.
What?
Yeah. Frank
Frank
Welker is
Welker
the
is-
fucking little, like, the monkey with the dates.
That monkey he did the voice of?
Yeah.
Did anyone tell the monkey? He's
like,
he got David Prowse.
I'll
down
do
to
the monkey
fucking-
for half the price.
Anywho, there was a session, and this kid came in from out of state and said, I can copy all the voice. I don't know how he got the part, but he copied everything Frank does in the booth and said, aren't you getting too old for this?
Oh,
Everyone was
fuck.
like, wait, what? Because typically voiceover actors are like the nicest people in the world. It's not about what you look like, and I'm amazed every day by what my cohorts can do.
Right.
So he didn't work again. I mean, it was just shitty.
Was there like a voice fight?
We had a throwdown in the booth.
He's like, I summon the power of Yogi Bear.
Yeah.
He shouts at him.
It gets ugly. It gets ugly.
I throw at you grape ape. I go old school. What is your favorite memory from working on Batman the Animated Series? Being in the room all those times. And you got to figure, you were in the room at least, how many episodes have they done of this show? Gary? 109 episodes, man. Gary Muno, give it up for him, ladies and gentlemen. The man responsible. 109, and Batgirl probably in at least 30%, 40% of them and stuff. By the end, when it became like a Batman family, it was everybody and stuff. So that's a lot of times in the room with all those legends, of which you are one of them as well. Throw us something. Throw us a bone. What was your, it doesn't have to be the top number one favorite memory, but was one of your favorite memories of being there recording the show?
I really have so many memories of really just being happy, really just being in the booth with Conroy and Hamill. Like it really felt like I could die tomorrow. Like, this is amazing. And literally every time I went in was like that. There was never a bad day. But probably my favorite episode was Girls' Night Out.
Oh, it's such a fucking great episode.
And it was just so fun to be like this kick-ass superhero chick and have a partner. And, you know, we're going out and kicking ass, and then we're like in our robes talking about boys or whatever. Like, it was just, it really humanized superhero chicks, and I had so much fun that day. It was probably one of my favorite days.
Have you ever had to voice against yourself, like play multiple roles in a scene?
All the time.
Really?
Every day.
So on Batman, would you do more than Batgirl? Like on some animation, they're like, we'd like to get 3 voices out of the people.
Yeah, they typically like to, because when you get a scale fee, it's up to 3 characters. So they're going to pick someone that's more versatile. Like, I often meet people that go, oh, I really want to do voiceover. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. It's not about sounding like a crazy person. Like, maybe you'll get one, but it doesn't sustain a very long career. The people that work a lot are very versatile. So I think on Batman there was a few incidental characters on that run, but like today I play Batgirl, Ivy, Harley, and Raven in the same episode of like a DC Girls or whatever it is. Not DC Girls, I'm not Batgirl and DC Girls, but
Like
another one that I'm doing.
The short animations.
Yeah, and I'm doing myself, arguing with myself.
So you're doing all the voices?
It's really great therapy.
How does that I mean, I don't mean to get political, but you're a Canadian taking jobs, man, like doing all those voices. That's a lot of voices. How does it wind up just being one person? They're like, well, you do Ivy as well. Well, you do this one as well. Well, just do all the girls. Like, do you have that many different girl voices to be able to do?
Yes.
What's Ivy's voice?
Well, on the DC Superhero Girls, she was really sweet for some reason. They just wanted her to be like a really nice kind of...
I love DC Superhero Girls.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds dirtier than I meant it, but that's the concept is very cool. The idea of them being kids in high school is adorable, man. Pernille draw that stuff.
Yeah, and I've played her sexy too. And a lot of time the show dictates, you know, how dark it's going to be. I mean, there was that amazing short. What was that called, Gary? That short with Bruce where Harley was like darker than Joker, and it took place like in Chicago or something. Do you know what I'm talking about? You don't?
Fucking Gary.
We just sold you as the cure to cancer, man.
Jesus Christ.
Anyway, that was like darker than any other Harley ever. She was completely a maniac. And you know, then on DC Girls, she's like, hey, Wendy, let's decorate your room. You know, like she's a lot lighter. And then depending on what the mood of the show is, dictates how you're going to do the voice.
Did you do Batgirl in the Killing Joke?
Yes.
So you did Batgirl when she was young and innocent, and then you did Batgirl when she got down with Batman. Was that as weird for you as it was for the rest of us? Like, I remember watching that and being like, oh no.
That's like her uncle.
Yeah, somebody better tell James Gordon.
By the way, I'm with you. Kevin is Batman. For the record, Kevin Conroy
Right?
is Batman.
Like,
And
most people I find, like, that will forever be Batman's voice because of this show, because of Batman the Animated Series.
And he is Batman, and Hamill is the Joker. And I'm
Yes.
friends with other people that play them, but there is no replacing them. And I miss them when they're not on it. And for me personally, comic book wise, like I gravitate towards the dark stuff. So even though it's been done funnier, like this is you can't top this. And by the way, the whatever they call it, is amazing. This new Blu-ray, like, you thought it looked amazing before. It's like, it's mind-blowing to see the colors and everything.
Mind you, this was an animation process. I'm sure I'm not telling anybody in this room anything new, but they animated using black backgrounds, which was revolutionary because it was mostly white backgrounds that you draw on and stuff that were clear acetate, and they put on black backgrounds, which gave the show this very authentic and artistic look, man.
Right, and it holds up, that film noir. It's so cool. So when I got the Killing Joke script, first of all, anytime I open a script and I see Batgirl, and to me, I'm stoked. Anytime.
Right. You're like, I don't give a shit if it's bad. I'm there, man.
Right. And having read the Killing Joke, it's too short for a feature. And so I love that they gave Batgirl something to do.
It became like the first half of it was the Batgirl story.
And then like the Twitter hate was like, what the heck? And I'm like, guys, it's not her dad. People are like, ew. I'm like, I'm sorry, but it's not her dad.
Not her dad.
She's a grown-up. Like,
The
shut
best
up.
defense ever. Like, no, she didn't fuck her dad. That would have been weird.
That's where we are in America. That's the line.
I don't know. I loved it so much, and it was a creative choice, and I didn't think it was gratuitous.
I didn't think it was gratuitous either. I
Yeah.
wasn't offended by it. And on some level, I was like, oh, that's interesting. But on the other level of like, well, they used to hang out when she was really young. But you don't, like, as the performer, you don't get a fucking say. You could never be like, hey, man, I'm going to put my foot down. Batgirl would never do this. They're like, next. You're like, hold on, I'll do it for half price.
Well, that's not entirely true. The actors get some say in certain lines. Like an entire story arc would be hard to argue with. But when it comes to lines, they listen here and there. Like years and years ago, I was doing a Rugrats episode, and I don't know if you remember, but when the Rugrats like went into their imaginary world, you guys all got to see that. And so they were in a car dealership, and while they're waiting for their dad to pick a car, all the babies were in a van, and suddenly they pretended they were underwater in a submarine, and they were looking at all the fish around them. And there was like a heavy-set woman that came by, and my line or someone else's line was, look at the whale. And I'm a child of a very heavy woman. She was teased her entire life. I would hold her hand while she cried and tell her how beautiful she was, and I saw how horrible that bullying was. And I said, hey guys, why don't we make it a muscle man and not a heavy-set woman? And they said, done. They didn't even think about it. So
look at you,
yeah,
man.
sometimes
Fucking
you can do that.
being Batgirl. Fuck. A real hero.
Yeah.
Maybe like crack a window for these kids playing in this car.
That was before those health code violations. You get away with stuff. What is shit, man? Like, roll out the resume. The fact that you just threw fucking Rugrats, I was like, Jesus, that too? Go through, not everything, but throw out, like, just impress us. Throw out a bunch of names.
All right. Well, Fairly Odd Parents, of course. Teen Titans.
Raven on Teen Titans, right?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
So wait, in the Teen Titans go to the movies as well?
Yeah. Did you see it?
Yeah, of course.
Isn't it funny?
What was the, yes, very legit funny.
Yeah.
Like, they make a
Yeah.
lot of great DC
Yeah.
Universe jokes
Yeah.
and stuff. And Marvel jokes, too.
That's funny.
But, what? Fuck, man. Were you, like, blown away when they were like, we're doing this as a movie? Or is it a
Blown
Batgirl
away.
movie?
I'm so happy. I've seen it 3 times, and I could see it more. I've been in other movies, and I'm like, I can't. I just love it so much. It's so
awesome.
funny. It's so funny.
All right, so keep going.
Twilight Sparkle, My Little Pony.
That's right, man. I forgot. Oh, my God, the bronies must love you. Keep
They
going.
do love me.
Do you have a costume?
Yeah,
I
did you
have
do a
cosplayed. I surprised the fans at a con and came out as Twilight as a person. Yes, I've done that.
Nice.
I just took over for the new Rocky and Bullwinkle. Did you know that?
What the fuck? I am a huge Rocky and Bullwinkle fan. Who are you voicing?
Hokey smokes, Kevin. You
Oh
don't
my
know who I
God,
play.
that's your Rocky? That's good.
That's my Rocky.
That's fantastic. Did you have to study it for a long time?
Yes.
How long?
And actually, the first auditions were, I didn't book it the first time. And when I went back for the callbacks, they said, we don't want it to be a voice match. We want it to be a little bit older, a little bit wiser. And I thought, what? Like, also, the Moose guy sounds exactly like Moose, so I thought it was kind of an odd choice, but I did what they asked. And then at the next callback, they did a chemistry read, so I was with Bullwinkle. And it was like nerve-wracking because it's one of those parts that's like, wow, you got to play Rocky? It's pretty exciting. So
Huge.
I really, really wanted it.
Yeah, you're the co-lead for
Yeah,
heaven's
and
sakes.
it felt good, but it still didn't feel like in the pocket for me. And then Sorry, honey. And then
She's trying to get you to stand right down the barrel of the camera. She's helping.
when she passed, I swear to God, it's almost like she jumped in and like, this is how it's done. And it became more classic Rocky, and we were already at like episode 4 or 5, and I begged the director, let me go back and rockify like all of it, because it just felt like in the pocket, you know, like it had to be Rocky. And this we're on season 2 that's coming out soon, is so funny.
Who's
it's
doing
so
it? Where
great.
is it? Where is it aired?
It's produced by DreamWorks, and it's on Amazon, and it's really, really good. The animation's good, the jokes are good, Bullwinkle's good, all the voices are like bang on. It's really, really good.
Who's June did both Rocky and Natasha.
Natasha, right. So because I wasn't originally cast, I didn't play her, but it was Rachel Butera, and she does an amazing job. And Brad Norman is Bullwinkle, and Piat, having a brain fart. This isn't going to be recorded or anything, right?
Nobody will see.
Anyway, look up the cast. They're really great.
I didn't know. All right, keep going. Fuck, man, that's cool. I didn't know that. Number one, I didn't know that the new Bullwinkle was out already.
Yeah, I know. You should see it. It's really funny.
All right, what else?
I'm Ben 10.
Wow.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Chowder. I was Truffles in Chowder. Do you guys remember that show? Honey, we got an order. Does my butt look big? You don't remember her? She was an old Yiddish lady.
I just get delighted I could watch you speak in voices all day long, man. It's fun. I think it's the Christian in me. I'm like, it's like Exorcist. You got a family and stuff like that?
Yes, I have 2 boys.
And do they know about?
Yes,
not
they
just
like
this,
that.
but
They
love,
like
I
that a
would
lot.
imagine, right?
They
What-
really love me on Rick and Morty. I play Tinkles on Rick and Morty and a few other parts.
Oh my God, that's right. You did Tinkles, the song. Did you sing the song?
Yeah.
Do you remember the words?
Oh no. Do you?
No.
You
I'm not
usually
asking you to perform it. That was more of a question. Did
I
you
would.
remember
I
the
would
words?
if I remembered it. I can't remember it.
I know you're a born performer. You just fucking dive into it and shit.
You're
Yeah,
like
I'll
the
die.
least fair bring your mom to school day person.
I
Where
know.
it's like, oh, what's your mom do? Well, you know, she's a lawyer. What about your mom? Hey, she's a doctor. Those are all great. What's your mom do? Everything you love.
She's the voice of your childhood, motherfucker. Hit it, Mom.
I hear that at every con. Thank you for my childhood. You're the voice of my childhood. And I have done that at school and probably ruined it for other parents.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I'd bring you to college if you were my mom. This is
Yeah.
an economics class, sir. But listen to my fucking mom.
My kids, when they were little, they used to do more. Like, we'd be like in line somewhere at Target, and my son would go, you know, she's Bubbles, right? From the Powerpuff Girls? And they'd be like, do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Come on.
Yeah, they're pretty proud of me.
It's Bubbles as well.
Yeah. She's just as tough as Blossom and Buttercup. She's hardcore.
Oh my God, I love it so much.
I think
Oh
they
my
broke
God.
Kevin.
We have to stop, otherwise I'm gonna burst with joy.
Whatever.
That rarely fucking happens. Give it up for the insanely fucking talented Tara Strong. But Tara's gonna come back here and join us behind the bar for Q&A.
Okay.
We're gonna do Q&A a little
I
differently
forgot my
this week.
drink.
Instead of asking old me and Mark
me
stuff,
that.
you get to ask Tara stuff. Obviously, she's got a great storied career and she knows a bunch of stuff. While she's walking up here, I just wanted to point out, for those who are not sharp-eyed, I am wearing a Fatman Beyond pin on my lapel. Features me and Marc in the logo. Did you just notice it? You didn't
Only
notice?
because you pointed it
I
out.
got one for you.
What about me?
It's not even my
I
birthday
didn't bring
yet.
one for you. Jump in the middle here.
come
Come
here.
over on this side. You can find them at janesilentbob.com. I think they just went on sale, man. But they're pretty
That's
damn
nice.
sweet. All right, so this awesome box set is a potential for somebody to walk home with tonight. This is a gift. It's insanely limited, as I said before, 69,000. Gary was a real sweetheart and scored one for us here to give out tonight. In order to win this, we were talking before the show began, like, what is the fucking bar for this? You can't just ask a question and stuff. It has to be something huge. Did you? You probably didn't think of any bar.
I feel like it's a question that's predominantly for Tara because
Yes.
it's fucking a Tara jam.
Yes.
And I think maybe we'll have 3 people ask questions, and Tara will choose which of those 3 is the best question.
Oh, that's shitty. You can't do that to Tara where she's just like, this one's the
You'll
best.
be it.
Because then she loses 2 fans who are like, fuck that voice chick. And we don't want that.
We can give consolation prizes for those 3 tickets.
I feel like we should do this. First one, say it.
Solomon, that shit.
Cut the box in half. That's right. Let's Solomon this shit. Take it right out the Old Testament and whatnot. What if first best question wins? Like, here's the thing. Whoever gets to go first, if your question is amazing, you win the box set. And it has to, in order to be an amazing question, you have to produce an amazing response. It has to be a like big old juicy response. Can't be like a simple yes or no. It has to be real thought provoking, kind of like, oh shit, that's fucking insane. That question wins the box set. If you're the first one and you don't ask a question that good, we have secondary prize, which is normally our first prize, man. Deacon and the good folks at 4DX dropped off tickets for us to give away and stuff. And that's no booby prize. 4DX movie is a fucking incredible experience to watch. You can go see The Grinch in 4DX. Scott
Oh, I'm in
Mosier. You were in The Grinch as well?
Duh.
You were directed by fucking Scott Mosier. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking A, man. God, are you never... What aren't you in, for Christ's sake?
Simpsons.
Have you ever... Have you
That
never
sounds a little
done
bitter right
Simpsons?
there.
No, I did a Futurama.
Did you see me? I danced on Bender.
No, I didn't know that one. I don't. Man, you're putting me on the fucking spot tonight and shit. But is that a dream to be on The Simpsons?
I mean, it'd be fun.
Because of the money or because it's...
Wants to get paid.
Well, I wouldn't get paid like they do.
Right.
Those are like they've been on the show for however many years, and
Oh,
guest
geez.
people don't get that.
Right.
Yeah. But that'd be fun.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
It
Another
was
one.
fun to do Futurama because they had a full table read, and it's like all my friends are there, and
And you knew everybody.
yeah, and it was just funny and fun.
All right, fucking A. Good
Do you
for
want me
you.
to make this really sad for whoever doesn't win?
How?
Well, A, it looks amazing, but B, there's also like special interviews behind the scenes from like everyone.
You're making it worse for
I
her.
know.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
people walking away without this
Yeah.
tonight. But they can go find it on the internet, right?
True.
Go find one. Gary, what's the status of the box set? Is it sold out everywhere? It'll be sold out in the next week or 2. It's going to be selling out fairly quickly. Get your hands on them when you can, folks. Okay.
Go to your local Blockbuster.
So, yes, go to your local Blockbuster. I saw it recently in a commercial for Captain Marvel. Let's start the questions, man. JC, did you pick some folks? Bang. Oh, shit, you didn't.
This
It's
guy's
about to
feeling
begin.
it.
All right, man, you're going to be first, and you got a golden chance to win this box set, which I bet you we can get Tara to sign. Would you sign it?
Yeah, I'd sign
Fuck, Batgirl will
Great.
sign this box set.
Well,
But the question has to be amazing. And if you get it, if the question's amazing right off the bat, you get it and we all fucking go home and shit.
All right.
But
Let's get you home
if
early.
the question is, yeah, it's okay, you'll win some 4DX tickets, maybe. If the question's terrible, like we'll be like, sit the fuck down.
I'll get
So
kicked
there's
out.
tiers here. There's a bunch of things that could happen, man. What's your
All right.
name?
My name is Oscar.
Oscar? Everyone give it up for Oscar. He's going to do it. All right, Oscar, take your shot.
First off, I didn't know this was going to happen. So if I win, awesome. If I don't, that's fine with me. I just have a question, well, 2 questions that I've been wanting to ask you guys for some time now. I just
Fair
haven't
enough.
been able to have a platform to do that.
Fair enough. Sounds
So,
like it's not going to be for the box set, but for the 4DX tickets.
Maybe.
Fair enough. Hit it.
All right, so my first question is with Bohemian Rhapsody that just came out, Elton John's movie that's coming out soon, and then the other biopics that have come out before, like Selena and NWA and all these other movies. I've always wondered, what musical artist would you guys like to see a biopic of, or of a band, if you have? And who would you cast as the lead?
I picked 2. Run DMC. They have a fantastic origin story, and it's some of it's mired in comic book culture as well, and the Talking Heads. How a couple kids from RISD wound up being one of the most popular bands on the planet. I think there's, and also their story is fraught and complicated, and they all kind of fray and fall apart at the end. So there's drama there for a good movie. Run DMC is just about, you know, fucking
It's
watching
iconic.
the rise, watching the beginning, watching hip hop be born, with the Unto the Kings from Queens. So those would be my two choices. You?
Oh gosh, I was thinking the whole time like you should direct them.
No, not at all. Particularly not the Run DMC one, but I'll be first in line to pay for it and stuff.
That'd be good. We haven't had a Hendrix movie, right?
We have not, I don't think.
Okay, I'd see
They tried
that.
a couple times.
Oh, okay, I'd like to see that.
It would be awesome.
Yeah.
All right,
I'm
what-
really excited for the Queen one.
The Cream one?
Queen.
Oh, the Queen one.
But
The one
Cream would be
that's
good,
out.
too.
I was like, they're making a Cream biopic?
Eric
Holy shit.
Clapton, sweet.
Wow. Yes, the Queen one. Marc was talking about it earlier.
Yeah,
Did you see it?
I did.
It's good.
Don't get him started, man. Don't
It's
get him
got
All
started.
moments.
right, all right.
Marc, what is it?
Kiss.
Yeah, bitch. I'm not even a huge Kiss fan, but fuck, that would be an amazing movie, man. The makeup alone and shit, the decision to put on the makeup, which I always thought was kind of brilliant. I don't know if they realized it when they did it, but it made them fucking ageless. Because you could be an 80-year-old, put on that makeup, and people see like the cat, the star
They see what they
child.
want
They
to
still
see.
sound good too.
Yeah,
They could
yeah.
probably play themselves at some point.
I think Kiss. I think Beastie Boys would be interesting.
Yeah, I'd see that too.
And fucking Prince. Give me a Prince biopic.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I was
would
thinking
see
Michael
a
Jackson
Prince
on the way over here.
Yeah,
Say
Michael
again?
Jackson.
Michael Jackson?
Yeah,
that'd
I'd
be
watch a
good.
Michael Jackson biopic.
Yeah.
And then my second question that I have also,
But go ahead.
yeah,
It's usually one, but
I was wondering if okay.
you squeeze another one in. You got the mic. Go.
Well, it's just I've been trying to broaden my horizons when it comes to movies, as I'm not as well versed as most people.
None of us are. None of us are as well versed as we think.
I was wondering if you guys had top 3 female leading movies. For example, with me, I really enjoy Sybil.
Wow, deep cuts, fucking pull, man.
I was forced to watch it at school in psychology class, and I loved it since.
It was a school assignment.
It was a school assignment with multiple personality disorder study and all that stuff. My second movie was Joy Luck Club, also another school
Right on.
assignment that I loved. And then my most recent pick is Wonder Woman.
Oh,
As top 3 for me. I was wondering what it would be for you guys as well.
you start. You're the lady.
You just want to think of an answer.
I could give you one right off the bat.
Okay,
I
go.
can't give you 3, but I give you the first one. Aliens, for sure.
Yes.
But I should be able to dig deeper than that. So I'll pass off to other people. I think of 2 more. Go.
I mean, you have to think about that really. What was really great?
Well,
We
it's,
really
the hard
will.
thing is 3. And then all of a sudden you're faced with like, oh my God, like fucking, I can't believe I rested on Aliens. But the good news is that we all kind of agree Aliens is a very strong female lead movie.
Okay, I'll give you 3.
Go.
The Professional.
Yeah, good poll.
Fuck, I had the other 2. Hold on.
I could tee off on that one.
Okay, go.
Gloria, John Cassavetes.
Nice. Okay.
An amazing movie. Have you ever seen that?
I have not, no.
Oh, it's fucking awesome. It's about a lady who is mob adjacent, or she used to have a boyfriend in the mob. She lives in an apartment building. It borrows heavily. The Professional borrowed heavily from it. The gangsters come in to kill this family that she's right next door to, and she don't want to get involved. And the kid went off to get some milk with the littlest boy in the apartment. And as his family's getting slaughtered, he comes home and he fucking knows it. And he goes to her apartment instead, and he rings the bell, and she looks out the people, and she don't want to fucking open the door and shit. And he's standing there knowing that soon they're going to come out of the hallway, find him there, and fucking take him inside and kill him and shit. And she doesn't want to answer the door. Jenna Rollins, an amazing performance, then finally opens the door and pulls him in, and the adventure begins. Fantastic fucking movie. And they borrowed a bunch for The Professional.
Monster.
Gloria, that's what it's called. Monster, what
Monster,
a great call.
Charlize Theron.
Yeah.
Directed by Patty Jenkins, who would then go on to do Wonder Woman, and Silence of the Lambs.
Silence of the Lambs, what a great poll, yes.
All right.
Oh, do I have to do it?
At least one, maybe?
You do what you want to do.
You could do it in
We're
character.
like-
Do
we're
it in
like-
character voice. It'll be fun.
Whatever. Like where there's one chick lead or there's multiple
No,
chick
it could
leads?
be. There could be
Many or
boys
just
can be in the
one?
movie, but the lead story should be a girl story.
Oh, what about Sophie's Choice?
Fuck yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's also the saddest pick you could have.
Sorry. Brought the night down.
Suddenly we're all sitting around going, what would I do?
Witches of Eastwick? Does that make you happy?
Which one?
Witches of Eastwick?
Yeah, which is
Okay,
is fun.
yeah.
Yeah. Does that make me happy? Thank you for thinking of me.
I loved Wonder Woman too. I thought that was a great.
I enjoyed the fuck out of Wonder Woman as well. Boy, I'm really
Color Purple?
disappointed. Yeah, what a great fucking poll.
Thank you.
It's a great
I
movie.
redeemed myself from Witches of Eastwick.
It's weird, I guess. I'm fairly male-centric, right? Like I'm a guy when I go to the movies. I'm always kind of like, oh, it's a guy's story, and I can identify with that.
What's your favorite movie ever?
Of all time?
Yeah.
Either Jaws, JFK, Do the Right Thing, Last Temptation of Christ, or no. Oh shit. I do like Clerks an awful lot. Jaws, JFK, Do the Right Thing,
Star Wars.
A Man for All Seasons, and The Last Temptation of Christ. Man for All Seasons is a very heavily male-driven cast, I guess. All those movies are heavily male-driven. Boy, I feel like I should watch more female-driven movies, but I don't know. I mean, I remember, like, that's when we went to go see Wonder Woman, my wife was crying in the first few moments of the movie when they're, like, jumping off the cliff and firing arrows and shit. And I was watching the movie like, this is fucking metal. I saw it in the trailer, but this is fucking metal and shit. She didn't watch trailers. So she's just, like, fucking bawling, crying. I was like, what's the matter? What happened? She's like, I've waited my whole life to see something like this. She's like, you see it every fucking week. She's gone, this is something I never get to see. Look at this, women kicking ass and shit. So I guess I tend to be fairly male-centric in my viewing, which makes sense because I'm a guy. But I feel bad that I could only really come up with one right off the top of my head.
And Girl Fight, you should see. The Descent, you should see.
Now you're just showing off, man.
am.
Like,
I'm whipping out my big lady dick right now.
Gone with the Wind. You could see Gone with the Wind as well.
Fury
wouldn't.
Road.
It's long. Fury Road, excellent poll.
Terminator. Good
Fucking
one.
Terminator 2, particularly well done. Cujo. Good point, man. That
That's
is
a
a
bitch.
mom-driven story.
That dog is a bitch.
All right, is that enough?
Yeah, that was
Fuck
it.
yeah.
Thank you.
He asked a great question. Give it up for him. Give him some tickets. He wins some tickets.
Those are for you, Oscar.
Take some tickets. All right, JC, give us another one. Here we go. You're playing for the box set right now. Potentially, well done.
Put me on the
Excellent.
spot here.
Potential to win the box set. What's your name?
Marc.
Everyone give it up for Marc.
How do you spell it?
I'm going to try for the box.
How do you spell it?
M-A-R-K.
Well,
The
nobody's
right
perfect.
way.
Nobody's perfect.
And by the way, next time you're in Boston, they are building a veggie grill in Cambridge.
Are they? Finally.
they are.
Amen, man.
Yes.
They're doing one in Times Square, I heard, in New York, and I heard there was one coming in
It's
Massachusetts.
coming.
Good.
All right,
Are
I'm
you
gonna
now on
try-
the inside with Veggie Grill? Do they like slip you shit at this point?
I pay attention. I like it. I'm very supportive. Kev.
All right.
Times Square.
What movie or television show that you're a fan of that's never been animated would you like to see made animated, and what character would you voice?
Holy fuck, man.
We decide it right now.
We might as well.
Did I
Fuck.
get it?
That was a loaded gun. We got to unpack it. Say it again.
What
Do it slow because I'm stoned.
What television show or
What-
movie
What
that's
television
never
show
been,
or movie? Let me translate.
Okay.
Even though she understands. What television show or movie,
that's never been animated
and it's never been animated before,
would you like to see animated?
would you, Tara, like to see animated?
And what character in it would you voice?
And what character in it would you voice? I can't imagine a better fucking question happening tonight for our guest. Give it up for him. That's a great fucking question.
Thank you.
It's up to you, man.
We're all counting
Wow,
on you.
I'd have to think about that really hard. Because when you go from live action to animated, you have to give it a reason. Like, why is it going animated? Like, maybe if they had, a Raven movie, it would be like so epic with her powers. Like, that would be cool if they
Sure.
did like a Raven movie starring Tara Strong. That'd be pretty cool.
Are you pitching right now?
Yeah. Are you gonna direct it?
He's neither of the Warner brothers.
If I chose, I'd like to see Alias, Jennifer Gardner's Alias, turned into an animated show.
That's your pick?
That was what I'd like to see.
That's what a great poll, man.
Love that show.
Alias, animated.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like an older
Because
Kim
it sort of had
Possible.
that sci-fi feel to it, the mystery of all that craziness going on. I think it would translate great. That's just
a
me.
great poll, man. Great. And Grunberg's available. All right, have you thought of one?
I'm thinking.
We'll
You
stall
do
on
one.
this side.
You like chick flicks, you do one.
Sophie's Choice.
And Tara can voice the mom and the kids, man.
No.
And it's a musical, because of course it's going to be
No.
a musical now. We'll get Lynn to write the songs. It'll be great. Which one should I choose?
No.
Why did I have two?
No.
Have I stumped you?
I have the blues.
That wasn't your real answer.
No, that was not my real answer, but now I really want to see the fucking cartoon of Sophie's Choice.
I'm in, and Meryl Streep could voice it still. No offense.
Yeah. Okay. Gosh.
I'm trying to think if I even have one.
I know that's
It's a
a
TV
tough
show and it's a
question.
movie, but it's never been animated before. Jaws. Oh my God.
Maybe the shark's really friendly.
Is that the shark voice?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to pull my answer. I'm going to change it right away. Let me see. What have I liked? I mean, Buckaroo Banzai, I'd fucking watch a
Wow.
animated series of.
Oh, that'd be hot.
Game of Thrones.
That'd be cool.
Okay.
Be tough to top the original, though, right? It's like, we've seen this shit in real life. Megaforce. Yes, bitch. I think we've stalled all we can. Do you have a response? Because if he stumps you, he wins 2 box sets.
No.
No, not at all. We only have one. They're very limited. There's only 69,000 of these in the world.
I'd really, if I was going to answer honestly, I'd really have to think about it and make it smart. Like I don't say something dumb, like Sophie's Choice. Sorry.
Oh, shit.
Sorry. We just met.
This turned fast.
I'm glad she's on to you now. Leave me alone. This is like, it's like a genie in the bottle kind of
It's
moment.
funny that you say that because there's an old movie called The Thief of Bagdad.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that?
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool animated.
Yeah, but they've done that a few times.
They did?
Yeah.
The Thief of Bagdad?
Alibaba and the 40 Thieves. Bugs Bunny did it.
Well, but not that story.
Also
not that
Aladdin.
exact story.
Aladdin
But
is kind of the story.
It's
It's
kind
a
of
thing
that.
they-
It's kind
they-
of that.
they did
All right,
once.
but you did say that and it popped in my head.
Thank you. I'm
So I
trying
was
to
thinking
help.
what old movies, because maybe an old movie would be cool.
Well, what was your favorite movie as a kid?
Das Boot.
I loved. Well, my favorite
German
movie of all
cartoon.
time is Defending Your Life. I love that
I
movie.
love that movie too,
so
but I don't know how animated Albert Brooks
You could make a
works.
bunch of animated dead
Well,
people.
I've seen Finding Nemo. Animated Albert Brooks is just fine.
Yeah,
It's
that's
true. Good point.
That's
Good
true.
point, man.
That's
It works.
true.
It very makes a lot of
Shit a lot.
money. My bad. I Love Lucy animated.
That'd be cute.
Wow.
Would it be in color? That would throw off the dynamic, right? Like if we've only ever seen the show in black and white. It'd
You
be
know,
so weird.
I'm gonna be driving home and go, "Oh my God, I got it." That's gonna be when I'm driving home.
Oh, okay. It was like Driving Miss Daisy, the cartoon. Fuck yes.
They animated Gilligan's Island once.
They did?
Yeah. Wait until dark.
I think I broke
You
the
know,
panel.
for kids.
I mean, I don't know if the panel you broke her. We gave some answers,
Yeah,
but the
it's
one that you
Sophie's
really
choice,
want to
so
hear
anyway.
from is.
I'm
our
gonna
guest.
let you know like tomorrow. Give me your
Fair
number.
enough.
Give me your number. Suddenly, Harley Quinn calls you.
Hey, I figured it out.
My roommate would go insane because he was just at the Rhode Island Comic Con Sunday and met Kevin Conroy.
Oh yeah, he was right
So
beside
he-
me.
He's on his Facebook.
Were you
He
at
put a
the
picture.
Yeah.
Comic-Con? You were there as well.
Oh wow. I was supposed to be, but I'm working out here this week.
Oh.
What are you doing?
Sucks to be you, man. Sucks to be you.
What are you doing out here for a week? What kind of job works for a week?
I have an Amazon store, so I buy things, I sell things. So I
you gonna
travel, I
sell
work.
this
for
Wait a
myself.
second, man. You can't fucking bury the lead like that. Where you're like, I have an Amazon store. Anyway, about the cartoons.
I'm self-employed. How's that?
That's cool.
Yeah,
That's
I-
cool. So,
so
what?
I
You come
travel.
out here, you buy some shit, and then you sell
And
it on
I
your
sell
store.
it, yeah.
Are you gonna sell that?
No. My roommate's gonna go insane when he sees that come into the house, and I'm gonna tease the hell out of him with it.
Are you a spy? Because that sounds like some cover bullshit.
Nah.
there.
Do I look like I'm shaped like
buy
a spy?
stuff. That's the best disguise.
Eh?
What kind of shit are you looking for? Because I got a big garage full of shit.
I do mostly video games and a lot of other stuff like that. Some toys.
I don't have any of those. All right, I'm stalling. Did you think of anything?
Oh, was I supposed to be thinking?
Come on, man. We're working here.
Oh, I don't know. It's really all been done. Everything's been animated. Like you could say Splash, but look at the Little Mermaid. It's been done.
Degrassi. I would
No,
say
that
Degrassi.
would be a terrible
It's a good one.
cartoon.
Degrassi would be a great
Well,
cartoon.
it's probably like Fillmore or Recess or something. Probably exists already.
The Birdcage. La Cage aux Folles.
I don't know. You stumped me. I don't know. I'd have to think about it.
I killed it.
The Road
I
Warrior.
ruined the show.
No, you didn't ruin the show. But
They did that.
They did, yeah. It was
did
the
that.
Animatrix.
The
It was really cool.
Animatrix,
I was in
yeah.
that. Did you know?
what?
Yeah, I was in the Animatrix.
Who were you?
A bunch of people, like that crazy nurse chick.
You were many voices.
Yeah.
Presumed Innocent. I would love the Presumed Innocent cartoon. Yes.
Every week, and the cartoon happens after the movie, so it's like watching them deal with the fact that Bonnie Bedelia knows that he murdered, or no, he knows that Bonnie Bedelia murdered and shit like that, and he's always like, "Pass the butter," and she's like, "What the fuck did you say?" And it's like, "Nothing. It's all good. It's all good." Did you ever see Presumed Innocent? If you did, that's very funny. I'm just stalling for you. Have you thought of it?
What about like Illegally Blonde? That'd be fun.
Legally Blonde?
That's
right?
great.
And she's like a lawyer.
That's
but
awesome.
Cute. Okay. Can
There
I
you
go
go.
with that?
Can I go now?
No, can I go with that?
Oh, I thought you were like,
I don't
fine,
wanna
can I
go.
go now? I thought you were giving us
I don't want to
Newton
go. This is
Allen.
such a good politics break for me.
I know, right? You're not thinking about the election at all.
Well, a little bit.
Don't even bring it up. Think about the year that Lex Luthor won the presidency. Comics. We'll keep it on the level of comics. Legally Blonde counts, and you could be the lead. What was her name? Ellie?
Yeah.
Elwood.
Elwood.
Right. Elwood.
So
yeah.
you would be the
Right?
lead.
Yeah.
We finally got an answer.
Okay.
She answered. Give it up for Tara. But more importantly, man, you asked the question, and it was a great question, and it almost stumped her.
Can
but
I
she
win?
finally came through.
should open it.
I think
You
you
won.
should. I don't want to wreck it. Ooh, JC with the fucking knife, dude.
Who the fuck are you?
Look how metal you are and shit. Fuck, man. That was like butterfly style. Here we go, man. Signed
I'm gonna.
by a member of the cast, key member of the Batman animated series cast.
I'm assuming you don't want it personalized because Amazon doesn't like.
No,
things
you
personalized.
can.
You can personalize it. To whom?
I'm gonna give it to my roommate. So get to Chris. CHRIS.
Okay,
Oh my God,
you're
how
a good
sweet are
friend.
you?
I'm gonna tease him with it.
Well, not that sweet then.
Gotta have some fun.
If he gets it at the end of the day, it's good enough. If all the price he has to pay is Marc teases him, well, that's not bad. There it is, man. He won the box set. Give it up for him, ladies and gentlemen. Marc. Excellent question, sir. Happy hunting. We have two sets of tickets left.
We got some more stuff.
2 more questions. We get out of here, folks. Go ahead. Who wants to ask a question?
Hey, Kevin.
Hey,
Oh,
come on over to this
you gotta
side,
be
though.
over there.
Into the light, into the light. How are you?
I'm good. I first want to say congratulations on looking amazing and doing a healthy recovery.
Thank you. Trying to stay above ground.
Big
That's
time.
all. Thank
I
you.
lost 100 pounds myself, so I got it.
Fucking A. Well done, man. You know how.
Secondly, run, Lola, run.
Excellent
one.
fucking call. Run, Lola, run. He's gone. Where's the guy that wanted to see all the girl movies?
He ran.
He went to watch fucking all the movies right away. Run,
So
Lola,
I'm
run.
not
Excellent
looking
call.
for a prize or anything. I actually worked on I Know That Voice, the documentary on voice actors, so I kind of have an advantage.
Oh, right
But I
on.
just wanted to ask Tara to talk about working with directors like Andrea and all that, and the process between working as a voice actress and working with voice directors and what that all entails.
Beautiful, man.
It's a really good question because it's a huge frustration right now in the voiceover industry because Andrea retired.
Yeah. I heard that recently.
Yeah.
Just fairly recently. Yeah.
She was having health issues with her eyes, and it was devastating because doing Batman with her was amazing. It was run like a radio play. Like we'd have a table read, and she's an actor's director. She went to college and took acting and directing, and she knows how to speak to actors. And it's like this really crappy trend where they hire anyone to be a voice director, and they're like, can you make that line more squiggly? And I'm like, that's not my language. I don't know what that means. And it's very frustrating as the performer to like have what's organic be stunted by someone that doesn't know what they're doing, and that is more common than not today. So I'd give away 10 of them for one Andrea. I mean, she was amazing. With that said, there's a lot of really, really great ones that I love to work with, and it makes a difference when they're good and they know how to deal with actors. I mean, some voice directors like make you feel like, oh, I guess I don't know what the hell I'm doing, like, because they don't know what to say. And it really, just recently I was doing a show and there was so much line reading, which, you know, basically they'll say to you, can you do it like this? Let's get out of here. I'm like, well, my character wouldn't say it like that. I'm sure you heard that Shatner outtake, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That was a great one. If the actor really can't hear it, and you're like, just give it to me. Like, they want you to go, let's get out of here. I'm like, okay, fine. But when a voice director is line reading the actors the entire time, you kind of feel like, what am I here for? If I'm just here to copy you. And then as a creative, it gets frustrating. If you don't give a shit about the project, then it wouldn't affect you. But I get upset. I'm like, why am I here if you want me to just copy you? I don't know. But a good voice director makes all the difference in the world. And it should be fun. Even if it's a serious show, it's a cartoon. So if you have someone that makes you feel good about your performance and you're playing off the other actors and you're having a good time, that translates in the show.
Nice.
Thank you. You
Great
guys are
question,
amazing.
great answer. Give it up for him, ladies and gentlemen. Take some tickets, my friend.
You're going to have tickets anyway. Here. Go see a movie.
They're yours. Here we go. One last question, then we all get to go home, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone
We have
can
to go home.
Unfortunately, and then we have to look at the election results and stuff like that. I know you don't have to. You live in La La Land and you can make fun voices.
Think
You're
of
fine.
Other things to make into cartoons.
Yes, yes. My God, fucking, it must be amazing to be around you all the time. You could literally just change voices constantly.
I do it all the time.
Do you really?
Yeah, I always change voices.
It's nuts. Okay. Here we go.
Hi, I'll have my. Hey!
How are you, man? Everyone
Very
give it up for
good.
Keith Coogan. Keith's in the
How are
house.
you?
Give it up for Keith, everybody.
Hi, guys. Oh. That Pinky's got some gifts for you there. And Tara.
Oh, my God, thank you. What are these? Are these magnets? Oh, my God, they're
That's
beautiful.
so
I'm going to try to hold them up
cool.
without them falling
How'd you
so the
make
camera can
those?
see them. Beautiful.
Wow.
Oh, my
That's
God.
super cool.
I know there's one of me and my mother. Oh, my God, thank you. Yes,
Fair enough.
good point.
I said, don't even bring that one up. Okay. Well, I hope you enjoyed those, Kevin.
I love them. Thank you so much.
And Tara, what inspired you to be a voice actor? And are there any roles, classically animated voice roles or voiceover roles that you would love to play? And what would you be your audition tape for that role?
Well, I get inspired when I see a drawing or I hear like a really good backstory, and a lot of times they'll give you like drawings of even their world and what they live in. Like for My Little Pony, I had worked with Lauren on Powerpuff Girls, so we knew each other very well, and she came to my house and she said, would you mind laying down like a demo to pitch the show? And she had like 10 drawings of Equestria that were like insane art, like beautiful art. Of course I said yes. So you get inspired by creatives on the other end of the scenes of what's going on. And that also changes what you're doing. And then within that, you have to be ready to be their Play-Doh, because they might go, oh, now we want her a little bit older, a little bit younger, a little bit chubbier. Maybe she has no teeth. Maybe she's from England. Maybe now she's a boy.
Wait.
What?
Can I jump in?
Yeah.
Chubbier?
Yeah, they might want to, give her a little more girth. They might want to do that.
All right, so hold on. Do a 6-year-old boy who's thin.
Thin. Oh, I really like her microphone.
Same boy, too much sugar, heavy.
Oh, I really like her microphone.
Oh my God, it is fucking different. That's nuts. That's crazy. So they could be like, give me a fatter, and you could do that.
Well, yeah,
That's
that's what we do.
Fucking crazy. Anyway, back to your answer.
Okay,
sorry.
what was the other question?
Oh, and
What part?
any past like things that you just love?
Well, I
classic
wasn't
animated
here
voices
when
that
they
you'd
were
love to
auditioning The
do.
Simpsons, but that paycheck would have been nice.
So it's more about, well, number one, it's exposure too, right? Like everyone knows that show, World Over. Although the World Over, they don't do their voices, like somebody else does their voices.
Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes I'll travel somewhere and I'll hear like someone else doing my thing, and it makes me laugh a lot. Like, if you go to Mexico, let's say, and you hear yourself in Spanish, it's a weird. I'm sure you've had this
And
experience.
it's not you, it's somebody else.
It's weird, right?
Yeah.
But it's fun.
You will be approached one day by an actress that says, "I'm you in Guatemala."
It happens a lot. No, it happens a lot. People say to me, "Oh, I over voice you," like the Italian chicks. "Oh, I over voice you." Oh, that's kind of hot. Like, you hear different people. I play you in Japan or whatever it is. That's fun. But sometimes they play them, or they can watch them online.
And hear how you do it?
Yeah, and hear the original voices.
Do they try to match your
Yeah.
Really?
Uh-huh.
I mean, because they could just go off the charts because it's animation, but they're like, I'm going to honor what's there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you have
Yeah.
a lot of international silent bobs?
Well, Silent Bob's got one line per movie, so I remember the first time somebody showed me like the VHS cassette of Clerks in Mexico, I was laughing about Jay's voice. Because I was like, oh my God, that's what Jay sounds like? That's nuts. And I forgot that I had a line, and then Jay was like, well, let me hear your fucking voice. And I was like, oh shit, I have a line too. And so we fast forwarded to it. And they got somebody who, I think the line reading was, do it fatter. Because the guy was like, way down, he's like, 1 million fine looking women in the world, but obviously in Spanish in the way I can't do it. But yeah, it's nuts seeing somebody else voice you. It is kind of crazy. Great question. Give it up for Keith. He won some tickets.
Thank you, Terry.
Take these tickets. Don't forget these. Very important. 4DX Theater, man. That's it. We out of tickets. That means we out of news.
We are indeed.
That means we had a guest, we had a box sets, we had a show, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, right before I came to the show, I was telling Tara backstage, my kid works for DC Daily on the DC Universe app. And so we went out to Veggie Grill today, and she goes, you're never going to believe who I'm interviewing tomorrow. I said, who? She goes, Tara Strong. And I was like, oh, you're interviewing her tomorrow? I'm interviewing her tonight. So when Tara leaves here, she goes to sleep, gets up, and then meets another Smith who's probably going to ask her the same exact fucking questions. Go easier on her. She's looking forward to
I'm
it.
excited to see her. I think I saw her when she was real little, like at your house,
At the house.
first Fatman.
Yeah.
And she's so cute. I follow her on Insta, and she's hot.
Holly.
She's.
I know we're gonna love each other.
I'm sure you will. Give it up for our guest, ladies and gentlemen, the great Tara Strong. And that's all the show we got for you. Have you had a good time, ladies and gentlemen? Come on back and see us again when we do this. We're doing it next week?
We're doing it next Tuesday.
Tickets on sale right now, man.
yeah.
Come on back, see the show next week. And there is no show without the guy standing next to the lady who's standing next to me. Give it up for Mr. Marc Bernardin, ladies and gentlemen. And that is Fatman on Batman this week, man.
No, it's Fatman Beyond this week.
Oh, my God. I
oh,
forgot.
Shit.
I forgot. I'm still stuck in the past. That is Fatman Beyond for this week, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Kevin Smith.
I'm Marc Bernardin.
Tune in next time. Same fat time. Same fat channel. Smodcast.com or
YouTube.com/Kevin Smith.
Go Beyond, folks. Thanks for being here. Good night.
Fatman Beyond.